Rossi. Well, their ad, they put out she's a Nike athlete, has been forever, face of women's basketball. Nike celebrates Diana Taurasi, one of basketball's all-time greats. So,
why didn't they take a stand that she's the greatest?
Probably because there's other Nike athletes that might get a little pissy about that. Look, every time LeBron or Jordan comes up, someone gets a bee in their crotch about it, and then you got to yell about Kareem or someone else. So maybe can we just once just say that, like, Diana Taurasi is great, and Cynthia, who was the other one? They're all great. They're great.
Who was number 2 on that list? I don't remember.
Sue Bird
No, she was 11th.
They're all great.
Let's go back and look. Here it is, right here.
It's all arbitrary anyways.
The text line pointing out a great comp for Angel Reese, though, is Ben Wallace, and that's right.
Oh, Ben Wallace. Well, he was pretty good.
But he had no offensive game except for dunking the ball.
He had a better offensive game than, I'm telling you, Angel Reese can't play basketball other than defense and grabbing her own rebounds.
I don't think Ben Wallace could shoot unless he was physically putting the ball over the rim with his hand.
Tamika Catchings.
Number
2.
Yeah, so let's not get into this whole, who's the best. She's one. Nike said it the best.
Caitlin Clark is
celebrating one of basketball's greatest.
Well, that's great. Okay, so Nike, well, it's actually not Nike, but it's Jumpman.
Yeah, which is Nike.
It is, but it's a different brand.
Yeah, Luca is a Jordan athlete.
Yeah, and they put out an ad today. I actually really liked it.
It was pretty funny.
It's not Luca. It's just a guy dressed as Luca to make you think that it's Luca.
Yeah, you just see him in some sweats from behind.
Yes, he's tight little basketball butt.
Yeah,
which Suk loves. And
I would have preferred some joggers. That's a little loose for my taste. I don't really get a great lift there. I think we could have done some tighter pants, but
So he comes out to his whatever. What is that thing? A
It's like
Lamborghini?
It's like some sort of Lamborghini Ferrari thing, and it's Laker colored.
Yeah,
it's purple
Laker
and
colored.
yellow.
And the song that's playing is "All My Exes Live in Texas."
And the license plate is Texas 77.
And he just bends down, unscrews the license plate, puts on the LA one, the purple and yellow one with 77, and then drives off. And it says "Full Tank, No Mercy," which is great. What a great ad.
Oh, I hope he goes in there and just scores 70 against it. Run it up.
Do you think that's a little bit of a shot at Nico, too? Because wasn't
Yes.
Nico a former Nike guy?
Yes.
Was he the ex?
This is 100% an FU to him.
Well, he notoriously was the one who botched the Curry presentation.
That's right. He put on there.
Well, there were two things.
Oh, it was
One, he called him
Durant.
Stefan instead of Stefan, and then also they included a slide from a Durant.
I guess the presentation was the exact same presentation they gave Durant. They just repurposed it and butchered his name.
Well, he forgot to change the name.
Forgot to change the name, and he forgot to take out one of the specific Kevin Durant
For
slides.
Durant. Yeah, there was a Durant slide in there.
They're like, whoops.
Attention to detail, Nico.
So now Luca's going back there and by all accounts, like
this is in LA.
This is I thought it was back in
no,
Dallas.
This one's in LA.
Okay.
But still, it's Luca's chance to exact revenge.
Run it up
against Dallas. Now, his over-under points, at least the one that I saw, was 32.5. That is awfully high.
That is very high.
And he has not been scoring at that clip since he got here.
No, and he's got he's dealing with the calf thing, and
Calf
who
injury
knows how
management.
much of this is going to be an FU. Although, have you seen his debut in LA versus now? Dude's dropped like 15
Yes. Over the All-Star break, he had to have shed at least 10 pounds.
He looks like a different person.
They said he's really motivated by the leaks that he's fat, lazy, drunk. And he's
I would be
pissed
too.
about it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
that's
real?
That's real.
Look at the side by side of Luca when is that his first game with the Lakers?
That's his first game with the Lakers.
And that's him today?
That's him today at practice.
It looks like
Good
15,
grief.
20 maybe.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas is F.
And some people are saying in defense of Nico, this is why
That's
they weren't
why he traded him.
because you got this version of him, and now when he's pissed off, you get this version of him. And they tried desperately to dude, can you just be skinny?
But I tell you, I never really thought of him as super. I never really thought of him as fat.
Yeah,
But that first photo,
it's alarming
that you just showed me. He is kind of fat.
He's fat. Yeah. Well,
and I know he wasn't in the best shape.
No.
And maybe a little pudgy. You could tell that's the booze.
That's fat.
He's pretty fat in that first one. I didn't.
And there's the other one that comes across. I guess they're saying Zion is as thin as he's been since coming into the NBA.
Yeah, he's under 265 for the first time since getting in the league.
And when you see him, you're like, because you just get used to him looking a certain way. But when you do the side by side, you're like, oh my, you don't like 15 pounds is a lot of weight on an athlete like that. And, it's just, it's amazing that you can't get those guys to just commit to that.
Do it on their own?
Yeah, right? So I guess you're now getting the pissed off Luca version, but the question is, how long does pissed off Luca last, as opposed to, I really like drinking Guinness and eating ho-hos,
Well, you really only need it to last.
It's going to last as long as LeBron is up his ass about it. And then LeBron's going to move on, and then Luke will do his own thing.
The best thing that ever happened to him is probably going there. I was watching the Courts of Gold thing. There was nothing else on, so I was like, I fast forwarded past some of it.
Yeah, it's probably a little longer than it needs to be, but overall
it's a little longer than it needs to be. But one of the things, and that's, by the way, the Netflix documentary about the Olympic team. And it's funny because I like that they don't just focus on LeBron, because I get it. He's great.
Spoiler, he did not make himself available for an interview for this.
Oh, okay.
It may be because he wants to do his own Last Dance thing or his own production company, but he's not in it at all.
But one of the things they say in there multiple times, and Steve Kerr says it about 3 times, he pulls like Anthony Edwards aside at one point. And he's trying to tell Anthony Edwards, hey, I've watched you be great. You can be so much better. And he goes, I've never seen this, but he goes, look at LeBron. And Steve Kerr goes, I've never seen someone practice like that. And then and you can see it like in the Olympic practices. Dude, LeBron is going 1,000 miles an hour at 39 years old. And the best thing that could ever happen to Luca is if he gets to hang around that guy for 2 years.
And just sponge some of it off.
And LeBron gets in his ear and just convinces him, hey, man, here's my nutritionist. Here's my HGH guy.
This is the blueprint.
Here's where you go in Europe to get all the good stuff. And this is what you do. You spend the money and you will go down as one of the 10 greatest basketball players of all time.
See, I don't think you could change Luca. I think that's a pipe dream, but I do think you could get him to maybe view things a little bit more like Shaq.
Yeah.
I think he's already gotten to the finals once. Yeah. Now, if he gets to LA and gets to the finals and loses again, or continues to be disappointed, I think at some point, by a certain age, he's going to want to win a title, and he's going to know how important that is to his legacy, right? Yeah. And I think he pulls a Shaq, where that's what I was about to say, is like, you really only need this Luca, the motivated Luca,
couple months,
4 months out of the year, tops.
Yeah, after the All-Star break.
Shaq used to wait for surgeries until the start of the season. He'd come back in January, ramp it up February, March, and by playoff time, he was a stud. That's all you need from Luca.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I wonder if Luca realizes that there's an opportunity right now that if he, like you said, he's lost 15 pounds at least since being there, and LA's got a little something cooking. They drilled Denver the other night. I mean, drilled them. And LeBron's still playing at a high level. And, I wonder if he looks at this and says, hey, if I get my S in gear, maybe this is, you want to know what would be the ultimate FU to the Mavericks? Because that's what they're saying, is that a fire, they keep saying a fire has been lit inside of him. And he's really pissed off about how it went down in Dallas. There would be no greater FU than winning an NBA title the same year that Dallas said that you were fat, unmotivated, and left. Because your best opportunity might be this version of LeBron.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
may never get a more motivated Luka Doncic than right now.
Yeah, and you still have
tonight,
and you still have a healthy LeBron
because he's so pissed off.
Yeah,
and pissed off Luka. Haven't we seen pissed off Luka before?
It's like, look,
haven't there been a couple games where people have been up his ass about something?
Yes.
He finds another level. He's one of those that gets spiteful and starts going off on people. Yeah,
I forget what it was.
When he is motivated, he's probably, he's probably the second best player in the league when you get an angry Luka. And you're gonna get angry Luka.
You going over tonight? 32.5?
Boy, that is a lot.
He might have 60.
and you wonder too, like if they just drill Dallas, you wonder if they, how much he plays.
Dallas is gonna have, they're not gonna want to let him drop 80 on
No,
him.
their mission is gonna be able to shut his ass down.
They're like, nah, we're gonna have to prove to you, so you'll probably get a motivated Dallas.
That is a huge over-under.
That's a lot. The spread is only 9.
Look, I'm just saying, if you give me any over-under and it's in the 30s, I'm taking the under.
I'm inclined
what
to
do you think
say
the public side is on this too?
Yeah,
everyone's going over. We should all take
over.
the under and take it to the bank.
And if, if he drops 40 and I lose it, he throws a double nickel at you, then fine, you get me. You get me.
Well, I have a couple other bets. We'll take a break and I'll come back and I'll tell you the odds on a couple of the other bets for him too. So we'll do that coming up next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this SportsCenter update. First on the Fan, as we just discussed, it's a big one on the hardwood tonight in Los Angeles as Luca, LeBron, and the Lakers host the Dallas Mavericks in the first meeting between the two sides since the Mavs traded Luca to L.A. Tip-off for that one at 7 o'clock on TNT. The Blazers are off tonight after a win Monday against the Jazz. They'll take on the Wizards Wednesday in our nation's capital. DeAndre Ayton, Matisse Thybulle, and Robert Williams have already been ruled out for Portland. Out at the NFL Scouting Combine, Bengals Director of Player Personnel Duke Tobin said the team intends to make Jamar Chase the highest-paid non-quarterback in football next season. Meanwhile, Browns General Manager Andrew Berry says the team has no plans to trade all-pro defensive end Myles Garrett, who has expressed frustration with the franchise. And Kansas City Chiefs GM Brett Veach told the media that he expects veteran tight end Travis Kelce to return next season, despite rumors that Kelce may elect to retire. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley, the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The ultimate basketball party, Fan Met.
Has a lot of songs like that.
Yes.
And that's why he's greatness. Much like Diana Taurasi and Luca Doncic. So we're talking about Luca. He plays Dallas tonight. All reports are he's pissed off. I don't know how it goes, but his over/under points is 30.5 or 32.5.
Look, I think Dallas is in some trouble. How about that?
Yeah.
I think Dallas may be in for one.
Or does he try too hard and go, 5 of 20? I don't know. The CJ McCollum game. Another bet you could make. So you tell me what's the best bet here.
Okay.
Is it Lakers -9?
Mm-hmm.
Luca over or under 32.5 points.
Yeah.
Luca triple-double plus 250.
I kind of like that one.
Oh, you got some odds.
That's not bad.
Because he doesn't have to go out and score 30. He can score 19 and get 10 and 11, and that's that.
And they're going to feed him.
Absolutely. He will be featured.
Double-double, which is maybe even a better bet.
Oh, that's a gimme.
Plus 110.
Ooh, I thought that was going to be even money or worse. I like that. That's tasty.
And how about this?
He's going 10 and 10.
Would you like to bet on this? Luca gets a technical foul plus 600.
Oh, you know what? That's not a bad Ryan Buckley take a flyer. You know, I don't know how many he's gotten this year, but he's known to bitch and moan quite a bit.
The other one I want to look at, I'm going to see if I can find it, is whether he makes or misses his first shot. Like, he could be a little keyed up, and I would take a miss there.
But the double-double just seems like that's a...
Yeah, that seems like
getting
the play.
plus money.
Double-double plus 110.
Yeah, I like some
that.
of that.
Best bet on the board there?
That, and honestly, I'll take the under.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I mean, 32.5, that's...
What about rebounds?
Begging you to take the under.
Rebounds, 9.5. See, I mean, look, so here's the way I look at it. If they're putting the over-under on points and rebounds at 32.5 and 9.5, how the hell can you not bet plus 110 on a double-double?
Exactly.
I mean,
it seems like that is a no-brainer.
Okay, then assists is 7.5.
Yeah.
And then 3-point field goals made 3.5.
I mean,
that seems high.
I'd have to look at his numbers.
I don't like that one.
The
as much.
double-double in the under, I like. And then how many Ozempic shots before the game? What is the over/under on that? Because clearly they've got him on the Ozempic. 15 pounds in like 10 days.
What if they show? I don't know if Nico will be there, but apparently he's like in hiding now.
Yeah.
There's no chance he'll be there.
He's not popping his
But
head.
what if they show him like up in a suite with Palenka and they're all laughing hysterically, twisting their mustaches? Wouldn't that be funny?
You can't do that.
I mean, LA fans would probably cheer him, right?
He will be.
Yeah. They'd be like,
Well, he's
our
been,
other GM.
Our hero.
he's been booed nonstop for a couple weeks, right? Throw him on the board in LA and watch him get his first cheer.
Man.
That dude just needs to just duck and cover. And then Anthony Davis gets hurt the first game, maybe out for the year. It's not good.
Yeah, it's not going well, is it?
It's not going well. Although, you know what? They beat Boston at one point. They had a couple nice wins, I think, early on. Yeah. They're 5-5 in their last 10, but I do think they had a couple decent wins.
Just the fact that Anthony Davis is already hurt and Luca is losing weight and pissed off in LA. Just that right there, you have lost so far.
Yeah, it's not good.
You have lost so far.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not going your way.
You need Luca to be 325 and to blow an Achilles in order for that to work out.
Do you think Nico is now going through the scenarios in his head in ways he could have pissed Luca off enough to have him do that in Dallas instead of LA?
That is a valid point.
I mean, is there any other way to motivate Luca?
Like,
Obviously,
did he truly exhaust every single option?
I don't think he would have traded him if he thought there was a way to motivate him.
Well, the problem is that when you get that dude was in the league for 7 years, and he's been a 5-time first-team All-NBA. And by the way, this is his 7th year. Like, how do you tell someone that's been to an NBA Finals, that's a 5-time All-NBA first team, how do you tell that person that they're fat and out of shape and need to change things and not drink? I think that's the Shaq thing. Like, you can yell at Shaq all you want, and he's like, what, I'm the most dominant player in the league. It's really hard to get through to guys like that. I'm sure. Because, right, they fired training staff, they fired, like, everyone around him to try to find a way to piss him off, and nothing worked. It wasn't going to happen.
Well, he did get him to the finals.
I know. Yeah. Well, which is why ultimately...
Are they saying they would have won it if he had... I mean,
I know.
Dude, he got him to the finals.
Look, this is why the entire world, when they traded him, was like, what the hell? But, it's the idea of they were getting ready to give that dude almost $100 million a year, and they thought he was fat and lazy.
Well, you said it the other day. You said a lot of GMs are coming out saying...
That's the whisper.
This is the thing, and the Mavs may have just been the first to say, hey, there is so much money attached to these Supermaxes down the road.
Yep.
And the cap and everything,
Yep.
you can be paying a guy 80, 90, $100 million a
Better
year.
be sure about your investment.
You better be 100% sure, and they weren't.
And when you tie yourself to it now with the way the apron system works, that you can't keep adding stars. That when you commit to one or two guys, that is it. You are committed to them, and you're not going to be able to move off these deals. See, Philadelphia right now. Philadelphia cannot move off of Embiid and Paul George. For better or worse, that is the Sixers. I don't know if you've seen what's happening to the Sixers, but it's like, oh my God, cautionary tale. And so, yeah, that was supposedly the whisper, is that Dallas just looked at that and said, we cannot give him $500 million. And the article I read said, this is all just rumor and speculation, but if Luca isn't an isolated incident, they're saying Ja Morant may be the next one.
Now, see, that one
and
makes
they said
more sense.
And they said if Ja ends up getting moved this offseason, be aware now that this has gone from could be something to there's something. There's something
well,
there.
Look, I mean, I don't know. If you listed all the players that could fall into that category,
yeah.
Certainly Ja is one where I would be like, I totally see that.
It would make more
because
sense.
of his transgressions over the years.
He likes guns.
Very immature.
Yes.
Luca, now we don't know what all goes on behind the scenes.
Nope.
Obviously. But Luca would still, even if you told me, like, look, he's really hard to motivate, he's kind of lazy, drinks a lot. Even if you told me all that, I don't know that I would put him in that category of Ja.
Oh God, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even with some of the shortcomings, which sound like they are true.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess his drinking is bad.
He likes to get after it a little bit.
Well, but you're downplaying. I have been seriously. Nico has ties to Portland.
Yeah.
I've talked to people who know a little bit about the situation. Luca is bad.
Yeah.
And by the way, he likes. I thought of you. He likes Jameson.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. He's an Irish whiskey man.
Jameson and Coke.
I like him already.
Or Diet Coke.
More of a Jameson ginger ale sort of man, but I appreciate it.
So anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of guys like Brandon Ingram comes to mind, right? It's like, dude, if he's up for the Supermax, you're not going to pay that guy that.
No.
Okay. Ja, I get it. Maybe let him go. SGA, you're probably going to pay him.
Yes.
Who else? Wemby, you're going to pay.
Yeah, Wemby, you're going to pay.
Luca,
Anthony Edwards, you're going to pay.
Yeah, Luca would have been. If we asked this like 3 months ago, we would have said, "Oh, you're going to pay him."
You're going to pay him.
But one GM has already said,
"No,
not so fast."
He did play 30. And someone pointed out, look at his minutes per game with all the weight issues, and he still plays 35 minutes a night. It's just that, and then that goes back to you play 35 minutes. How many of those minutes are played on the defensive end? And you're gonna give someone that supermax. It's a thing.
All right, I have one more question about tonight's game, and then we'll move on. That's next on The Fan.
A rare center stage for hockey.
Lakers 6-2 since getting Luca. He is slimmer. He is motivated. He's coming off a 32-point performance, and he gets to play Dallas tonight. It's on TNT. I was thinking about this today. You know, the freaking MFing Lakers.
I know.
God. So I was thinking about them going, they did it again. Yep. You freaking bitch! Right out of the blue. And I thought, you know, if you go all the way back to pre-Wilt, go to like Elgin Baylor times, maybe even who's the big dude way back in the day? The old Minnesota, yeah, George Mikan. Go back to George Mikan. Mm-hmm. How many years of their existence have the Lakers not had a top 5 player in the league?
Well, you went from Kareem, and then Kareem went to Magic, and then Magic gave way.
But before that, if you go back to Mikan, you're missing a whole era in there of Elgin Baylor, Jerry West,
Chamberlain,
Wilt, then Kareem, Magic, Kareem and Magic. Now,
you had some weird years
there were some weird years after
with
them.
Nick Van Exel and like Eldon Campbell, because Magic obviously with the AIDS thing. But then that gave way.
But Worthy was still there.
But
he wasn't a top 5.
No, but he was a Hall of Fame player. And then that gave way to this guy by the name of Shaq. And then Shaq gave way to this guy by the name of Kobe.
Yeah.
And then Kobe gave way to this guy. Yeah, Gasol. He went top 5. But then that gave way to this guy by the name of LeBron.
And now freaking Luca.
Whoa. No. Because then Anthony Davis came in. And then Anthony Davis gave way to Luca.
You miss Lonzo Ball.
It's an embarrassment.
Also, Swaggy P.
Of riches.
Swaggy P, that's right.
This is why we say no matter, I don't care salary cap or whatever, LA is still LA, and they just find a way because people want to be there.
Well,
meanwhile, Portland has
Damian.
We got Lillard, and then.
Well, look, Portland's been very good considering
we got Clyde.
The circumstances over the years.
We've had one.
Top 5?
Well, 2.
Not even that.
We had Walton, who was a top 5 player for a very, very short time.
Yeah.
And Clyde was a top 5 player for a few years. Yeah. And outside of that,
2 in history. And they've had how many players did you just name?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Too many. Too many.
Like 12, 10.
Yeah.
10 to 12.
Yeah.
Depending on.
And the Clyde one is probably a stretch, but you can make the case.
It's close.
You know.
But then he just kept getting bitch slapped by that guy by the name of Michael Jordan.
Yep. You know, and then the Walton one only lasted, 4 years? I mean, it honestly, it stings. It absolutely stings.
But the Lakers, they did have, you're right, they had some weird years. They have certainly had some weird, like, Don Mattingly Yankee years.
But they always find a way.
But it isn't many.
No. Well, and this is the problem that I have, like, with Portland right now. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but Shaedon Sharpe, who was supposed to be like the linchpin of all this, he's playing like 18 minutes a night. Like Chauncey hates him. Sat his ass down. Like he just.
What's his problem?
Well, I guess he doesn't play defense and he doesn't put effort. And the moment he shows any sign of being checked out, Chauncey just sits his ass.
Magic Johnson.
So like this is the problem that we have in Portland is, I've said it all along, until you get a guy that isn't like a top 15 player, until you get a legitimate star, it really doesn't matter what else you do. And we are so far and away from having anything that resembles a guy. I mean, even when we had Lillard, and Lillard was really freaking good. Lillard is a Hall of Fame player. Lillard is an all-NBA type guy. I mean, he is a great, great player. And despite his greatness, it led to one moment in the playoffs, which was that weird Western Conference Finals run, and then they got bounced and nothing ever again. And right now, the thing you got going on, Tumani Kamara, you got like a 3-and-D guy that gives you like 12 points a night. Like
something's on.
That's the best thing you have to hang your hat on. And the guy that was the whole start of this new youth movement and going all in was the number 7 pick in Shaedon Sharpe, and that guy is getting benched in the middle of a tank season. The other guy that you got rid of your generational player for, he can't even get the starting lineup in there. And then like that's what you're going for. And now you're going to end up drafting 12th overall. It's maddening.
Question.
Yes.
If you took the Portland Trailblazers organization.
Yes.
From when did they come in? 72, 73?
I think so.
Whenever it was.
Yeah.
if you took them from the 70s when they came in, maybe 75, I don't know, till now, but you put them in LA, are they the same?
No. LA is
so they're the Lakers.
I don't know if they're the Lakers because you get into, obviously
same owners.
Same owners. You're probably not, but it's just such a weird question. But I'll tell you what, they're a hell of a lot better than they are here in Portland, because LA provides you with an advantage that cannot be you cannot say it enough. It's like, that's like the Oregon. If you removed Phil Knight, or if you put Phil Knight and you put him in UCLA, right? Where are we at? Yeah, it's you cannot underscore how important he is. And yes, being in LA and having that, it's enormous, because at the end of the day, you're still dealing with 20-year-old African-American millionaires, and where do they want to be? And it's not Portland.
So, I mean, the main reason the Lakers have had all those guys, all the way back to when they were in Minnesota, by the way.
Yes.
So it's not always been, I mean, they were in only Minnesota for, so
but this started in LA.
Yeah, it starts in LA. The number one reason the Lakers are the Lakers is because they're in LA.
It certainly helps, because LeBron James wouldn't have, when LeBron James signed up to go to LA, that wasn't a great situation for him. He just wanted to be in LA, and it's a $1 billion industry out there.
Businesses and
yes. And then when it attracts when you get a Kareem, when you get Magic, when you get, when you get Kobe, when you get other people want to come be a part of that. And up here in Portland, even when we have really good players, Damian Lillard couldn't get anyone to come to Portland. If we are in LA and you take that situation with Lillard, is there any doubt that Giannis is coming?
Or someone.
He's
getting someone.
How do we explain the Clippers?
Well, that's just Donald Sterling being the worst owner in sports for 30 years. And that thing's an unmitigated disaster. But since they got rid of him, and even towards the end, LA has attracted plenty of talent.
Yeah, they had Blake Griffin there for a while, who was a big deal. Chris
Paul. They just haven't been
you
able
end up
to,
getting Kawhi.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get over the hump. But Paul George, Kawhi, I mean, they've gotten guys there. It just hasn't been
hasn't panned out recently.
But yeah, for a while there, and that's why I said you can't say, if you have inept ownership and you have inept GMs, you can screw it up anywhere. The Knicks are the best example of this. The Knicks haven't been relevant in freaking forever.
That's true. But
they got a donkey running it.
But also credit to the Busses over time. I mean, Jerry Buss cared.
Yeah.
He was no Donald Sterling.
Yeah.
So that matters. All right. Everybody's all of a sudden silent. What happened? Why are we so quiet?
I think we're supposed to break.
Yeah,
what?
That's right.
Screw the Lakers.
I mean, if you want to, this is your show.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got a sports collectible segment coming up next. Remember we talked about that the other day?
Oh, yeah, we were.
We were talking about trading card day. And
graded cards.
Trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
How much would you pay for this hot new sports collectible that's on the market?
My guess is not much, but let's find out together.
Yeah, we will. That'll be next on The Fan.
Let's talk college hoops.
Hawaiian restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make if your grandma were from the Big Island. Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online, ate-oh-ate.com. First on the fan. On the hardwood tonight, Luca, LeBron, and the Lakers host the Dallas Mavericks. It's the first meeting between the two teams since they made a deal that sent Luca to L.A. Tip-off for that one at 7 o'clock over on TNT. The Blazers are off tonight after a win Monday against the Jazz. They will take on the Wizards Wednesday night in our nation's capital. DeAndre Ayton, Matisse Thybulle, and Robert Williams have all been ruled out for that one. At the NFL Scouting Combine, Bengals Director of Player Personnel Duke Tobin says the team intends to make Jamar Chase the highest-paid player or highest-paid non-quarterback in the league. Meanwhile, Browns General Manager Andrew Berry says that Cleveland has no plans to trade All-Pro defensive end Myles Garrett, who's expressed frustration with the franchise. And Kansas City Chiefs GM Brett Veach told the media he expects veteran tight end Travis Kelce to return to the Chiefs next season, despite rumors that Kelce may elect to retire. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The inside story on the Blazers, Ducks, and Beavers. Danny and Dusty. Weekdays noon to 3 on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
What's the most resilient parasite?
Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
Can build cities, can transform the world, and rewrite all the rules.
That's what I'll be doing every single night.
Which is why... No! I have to steal it.
What are you talking about, Willis?
This is Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
It's gonna work. It's passable, okay? This isn't terrible.
The best in local, regional, and national sports. With no hidden agenda. Primetime with Isaac and Sue on 1080 The Fan.
Hi, we're balloons. Bye. I'm just kidding. That was a Mike Lynch drop.
The great Mike Lynch.
Hi, I'm a balloon. Bye.
Head coach?
God. What?
We are talking sports now. I told you that I had a sports collectible item for you here.
Yes.
Well, I do.
You gonna give it to me, or
I'm going to give it to you.
makes me feel uncomfortable?
Well, my.
I wasn't lying.
You don't really strike me as a sports collectible sort of fella.
I'm not.
Nor am I. I have a few things, but I've never quite understood the allure of spending your money on that. But
well, would you buy? Now, see, this is going to change your mind.
Yeah. Well, and if I had a bunch of money, then my opinion of this might change. But the amount of money that people spend to then just, I don't know, have some weird autograph hanging on your wall.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their money.
Each their own.
Yeah. Apparently, do you remember Woj?
I do know Woj.
You remember that guy?
I don't know him, but I know of Woj.
Yeah, Adrian Wojnarowski.
He's the GM at what, Providence now?
No. St. Bonaventure?
That's right, St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, the St. Bonnies.
The Bonnies.
And I think
he went
he's battling cancer now, too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he is deciding to auction off notable items from his ESPN career, his 7-year-long ESPN career.
I think I saw something about this. I'm not exactly sure what it's from, but I saw someone allude to this.
He is auctioning off, and all of this is to help the Bonnies NIL fund.
Okay.
Because he's now in charge of the Bonnies.
Okay.
And he is auctioning off press passes, video calls, dinner dates, and even cell phones that his breaking news Woj bombs were sent from.
Right? So he's selling like old Nokia like brick phones that he broke, but
well, no, he was only at ESPN 7 years. I'm guessing they're all iPhones.
I think they're all iPhones. There's 9 of them, right?
I don't know how many there are.
I think there are 9 iPhones.
But wait, there's nothing on them, correct?
No.
Or what do we?
No, I wouldn't think so unless he left the communications, which seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
all that stuff has to be wiped.
So you're just buying the physical phone.
Yes.
That looks just like any other iPhone. It's not like it's a painting or something that was in his house.
So what would you pay?
No dollars,
probably hundreds of thousands.
No dollars and 72 cents for like an 8-year-old iPhone, and then I can tell people that Woj, I don't know, broke what trade?
Well,
big trade?
I have
All
the
right.
trade. I have that.
Talk to me.
This is he says he used an iPhone XR
Mm-hmm.
in 2018, 2019 to break the news of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving teaming up in Brooklyn.
So
Anthony Davis joining LeBron James in LA, and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard both landing with the Clippers.
You will just have a weird iPhone that you keep on your desk, and then someone's like, dude, why do you have an iPhone on your desk? And you can be like, that's the phone that Woj used.
That's right.
I'll look, I'm probably the wrong guy because I just think some of this collectible stuff is stupid, but I can also appreciate when I see something cool. Like I see people with collections and I think it's neat. I kind of think it's a silly way to spend your money, but hey, I can appreciate it. This might be the dumbest collectible that I've ever seen.
It'd be one thing if it were personal to him, but once it gets wiped of all his communication, it's the same brick everybody else has. Yeah. It's not like if it were like his notepad that had scribbles, that's different.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the nostalgia of his little fingers.
And it's one thing like I have one of the few things I have, like I have a Steve Yzerman like autographed game use stick. At least that for me, and it just sits in the corner of my house, and I don't know why I have it, but I have it. And at least I can be like, oh, it's kind of cool to think that he played with that, but like it's his stick, and he's my favorite guy. I named my son after him. Is there anyone out there that thinks that Woj is like their hero? Did anyone grow up watching Woj?
I gotta tell you,
like what?
I talked to a kid the other day. I won't say who he is.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was talking. He's 15, somewhere in there,
and that's his guy.
Well, it wasn't necessarily that, but the idea of the insider is big with the kids. Like because he knew I was in sports radio, and so we were talking about that career, and he was like, "Well, I really want to be like." Yeah. I think he mentioned Schefter.
I think with the kids, sometimes information is currency.
Dude,
so it's like, so to be the person that's the keeper of all that and the conduit for that, like, makes people feel like important and powerful.
So I had to break his heart about what that job really is.
Yeah.
But, look, truth.
And that there's like 3 of them in the entire world.
But, I said, look, you could be that. Yeah. If you wanted to, you could do it. Do anything you set your mind to, young Sparky. And then I rattled his hair.
Well, then maybe that guy buys the phone. I'm fascinated by that. Like that someone thinks that much of Woj, or I guess maybe you're just an NBA like historian, and so you have to have it.
The bids aren't going very well.
No, I can't imagine that they would be. What
By the way, I've never heard of an iPhone XR.
I don't know what that is either.
But the top, it says
what's the top bid?
So okay, this says for his All-Star 2023 NBA All-Star Game credential.
Mm-hmm.
$150.
I will pay you $5.
I wouldn't even pay that.
I mean,
I'd rather buy a $8.58.
Tell you what, I'd rather have the press credential than the iPhone.
The press credential is cooler than
it has his name on it. The phone's not gonna have any trace of him.
Yeah. $750 for his 2023 NBA draft credential featuring Victor Wembanyama's #1 overall selection.
Boy.
And separately, for his iPhone used to announce the NBA's season suspension due to COVID. So that's all in one. So it's not going all that well for him, but, look, he's trying.
And I'll tell you what, I have a Rose Bowl credential, and it's the debut of my beard. It's the first time I grew a big beard, and for a Chinese dinner out, someone can have that. That's my price. A dinner out at Duck House and that Rose Bowl credential featuring my beard for the first time, that's yours.
You're getting cheeky, but someone will offer to buy you dinner for that credential, I bet.
Like, I'm sorry, but that's like you're silly. If you want that, you're silly. You're not a serious person. If you want any of those things.
Do Woj's insider phones make the list of the top 10 strangest sports collectibles sold at auction?
It has to be, right?
I have the list.
Strangest? Maybe not. A phone doesn't seem as strange. There's some other stuff like somebody's chewed gum is out there or something like that.
Yeah, there is some chewed gum on this list. I'm going to give you this list next. It's wild.
I'm intrigued because I have a family member of mine that this is like all he does. This is his.
Well, it's John.
Yes,
he's a baseball guy though, but he wouldn't care about this.
But it's everything. Like his hobby. It's all he does is he collects sports and movie memorabilia, and he doesn't even have to like the person. Like even if he doesn't care for someone, it's just like Hall of Fame or you're a great player or something unique. That's just where he spends his money, and I've just never understood it. But like chewed gum,
yeah, it's a thing. We'll get to that next on The Fan.
The best
for your Rose Bowl credential.
Yeah, the one of one Sucanic bearded Rose Bowl credential. So far, I've been offered Burgerville, which because they don't like Chinese food, that's ridiculous.
Well, he said, to be fair, he said Burgerville or McMenamins.
No, that's right out. That's worth Five Guys at least. I had someone else say that can they just DoorDash me, or do they have to actually go and eat with me?
Wait, how does that work? Can you put anything on? Like, what does that mean?
Well, they would order me food on DoorDash.
Oh, I got you.
And then have it sent to him.
And then have it sent to me. Someone said a round or two and some wings at Jerry's.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Now we're getting somewhere. I'm there quite a bit. Someone
Plus
actually
the round or two is a little open-ended.
Yes, we're gonna need.
Perhaps you get a third drink.
They know you'd be insulted if they just wanted to buy you a drink.
That's true. I think if I play my cards right, I think I can get a pitcher of hams out of them on that one. And then someone said, not joking, I will buy you dinner from Duck House. Yes, it's for real. I know I'm silly.
What is Duck House?
Well, that was the Chinese restaurant that I originally mentioned.
Okay.
Said if you wanted the Rose Bowl credential, it starts with dinner at Duck House, who makes a delightful Kung Pao chicken.
Well, what do you choose?
Well, look, I think we've
Who
got.
are you choosing here?
I think we got a bidding war. I think let's keep them coming in. You want this hot?
You think we're done here? We're not done here.
Yeah, we're not done here. I played my cards right. I'm going to be up to some wings and a Chinese dinner.
So, do Woj's Insider iPhones make the list of the top 10 strangest sports collectibles sold at auction?
I don't know if they make the strangest, but they make the dumbest.
Well, some of these are pretty dumb.
All right, what do we got?
Number 10, piece of cake from Joe DiMaggio's first wedding.
You know what? If Seinfeld has taught me anything, and I actually did look this up once, there is an entire industry around like wedding cakes, like especially like royalty. Like if you get a piece of cake from one of the royals' weddings, those things can be worth a lot of dough.
$750 it went for in 1992.
And again, what do you do with that? It's just a piece. It's like a piece of like rotten cake.
That was when he married Dorothy Arnold, the actress.
Wonder what I bet the Marilyn Monroe one would go for more.
We have Pete Rose signed baseball with a very bizarre message where he wrote on it, "I'm sorry, I shot JFK."
What?
Yeah.
It's like, did someone request that and then he did it and now it's out there?
$107.
Well, Pete Rose, and this is why I think Pete Rose he died, right?
He is very dead.
All right, I wanted to make sure.
Very dead.
Like, I don't mean to speak ill of the dead. I know he's the hit king. Pete Rose was that dude was a bad guy. That dude was a piece of crap. And one of the things that I thought was a joke about Pete Rose is he would do anything for money. And that guy would sign anything. I mean,
he'd put anything on there you wanted.
Yes, there are more autographs out there of Pete Rose than anything else. And I do not understand why anyone thinks that any of that is valuable when there are 8 billion of those signatures out there, including one that says, "Sorry, I shot JFK."
Well, I mean, to be fair, $107.
Yeah.
He also signed baseball saying, "I'm sorry I bet on baseball, and I'm sorry I broke up the Beatles." Very weird.
Yeah, way to go, Pete.
Number 8, fine art from Andrew Luck. It is a drawing from Andrew Luck of Lucas Oil Stadium.
What? Is it good?
No, it looks like this.
Really?
It looks like
a child.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly was just doodling.
Yeah.
And he wrote Lucas Oil Stadium, home of the Colts.
Huh.
And it's a one of one. And it fetched $1,500.
Someone spent $1,000 on that.
Yeah.
This is why we know people just have too much money.
Number 7, a gallon jug of Michael McJordan barbecue sauce.
What?
A former owner of a McDonald's in North Dakota happened to save an unopened gallon jug of McJordan barbecue sauce used for the McJordan sandwich in 1992, and he wondered how much it could be worth 20 years later. So his daughter helped him put it on eBay, and he got $9,995 US dollars
for some
Michael McJordan barbecue sauce. So weird.
Gosh.
Number 6, Tom Seaver's toothpick. So you know Tom Seaver used to chew on toothpicks?
Yes.
In the late 60s when he played, or in the dugout.
Mm-hmm.
One sold for $440 in auction.
Someone spent $400 on a used toothpick.
Now, yeah, my problem with that is the toothpicks kind of, I use toothpicks all the time.
Yeah.
They just kind of shred and they're not,
Yeah. Well, and how do you
This
know?
one looks like it's in very good shape, which is weird.
Well, how do you know that it was?
Which means he didn't use it much.
How do you know it's Tom Seaver's?
I don't know.
What is it?
This must be some sort of
authentication.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you're going to buy that, how do you even display that if you wanted to? It's like, it's tiny.
It's
like,
a toothpick.
You need to frame it with a caption, Tom Seaver's toothpick?
Boy.
We have a Twinkie. Number 5 is a Twinkie autographed by pitcher David Price.
Wait. How do you?
Well, he autographed the bag.
Oh.
It's in a bag. It's in a white or just a clear bag.
All right, I was like, wait. How do you?
Yeah.
So
Price $56.
So again, that just sits there and rots and
Correct.
and all. Okay. David Price.
Yeah, the pitcher won the Cy Young.
I saw one the other day that this may come up in 20 years, but there was a woman who was sitting next to Paul Skeens on a flight, and she knew him, and she knew he was like, she was a Pirates fan, and she wanted an autograph. She had nothing. She was like a law student, and so he signed her copy of Crime and Punishment. So you're going to have a book out there someday with Paul Skeens' autograph on that one.
Okay.
This is like one
Have you ever been in that situation where you have something, you want somebody to sign something? Maybe like when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, what can I have him sign? And so he signs like your forehead or something.
The one that I remember is, it was my first ever autograph. We were just at the Portland International Auto Show. I was at the Portland International Auto Show when I was a kid, and I got Spider-Man's autograph. It was a big deal. And it was like an 8x10 of just Spider-Man. And then Jim Zorn was there, and I got Jim Zorn to sign the same thing. So somewhere out there, God knows whatever happened to that. But I had an 8x10 signed by Spider-Man and Jim Zorn. Huh?
All right.
You would think I would have just gotten a Jim Zorn photo.
That might be a one of one. Spider-Man, Jim Zorn crossover autograph.
But the best part is it's just signed by some dude in a Spider-Man costume. It wasn't a guy that played Spider-Man. It was just a dude.
A character.
Dressed as Spider-Man.
These are the top 10 strangest sports collectibles sold at auction. Number 4, a Major League Baseball player's chewed gum.
So this has to be like Babe Ruth's gum, right?
In 2002, someone actually bought the Bazooka bubblegum chewed by former Arizona Diamondbacks outfielder Luis Gonzalez.
No.
Yes, the real shocker is how much that someone paid for it. $10,000.
Horse crap.
Benefiting a high school in Minnesota.
Luis Gonzalez.
Correct.
That Luis, like
correct.
There's not a Luis Gonzalez that in an alternate universe was the best baseball player of all time.
No, this Luis Gonzalez was pretty good.
Was it the Luis Gonzalez? Was it the gum he was chewing when he won the World Series? When he had the hit? Is it that gum?
It doesn't say.
So it's just a
chewed gum.
A random piece of gum.
Looks like this. It's in one of those baseball cases. You know,
people are stupid.
Hey, we haven't even gotten to the top 3.
It can't be.
Number 3, Ty Cobb's dentures.
Ew.
Yes, for $7,475 someone paid for Ty Cobb's dentures.
What are those?
This was in a Sotheby's auction in 1999. This is what it looks like.
Because that's got to be from the turn of the centuries. That can't be good.
Look at that. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Real bad. A couple of years later, whoever bought them loaned them to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and they were on display for 5 months.
So you had a racist, horrible human being who killed someone but was good at hitting. You've got his teeth.
Number 2, Joe Frazier's jockstrap worn during the fight of the century. It's really his jock, and boy, does it.
It looks like a jock from the 70s.
Does it look well worn?
You want to describe that?
Have you ever stayed somewhere and you look inside a pillowcase and you see that the pillow is now turned into the consistency of the U.S. Constitution? It's that weird yellow patina. That's what that jockstrap looks like. That is
it's not
so
good.
bad.
Gross. It's not good.
The founding fathers wrote amendments on that jock.
Of course, the fight he defeated Muhammad Ali, 1971, sold at auction $10,200 US.
What is someone doing with the worst looking jockstrap of all? Again, do you display that?
This says David Wolf, who is a friend of Frazier's, who was in his corner, asked for and received the athletic supporter after the fight, and he kept it in a carton in his apartment. After he passed, it was found with various audio tapes and the jockstrap that was in the same condition as when it was removed.
First off, how strange is it?
So it's an unwashed jockstrap.
Correct.
How strange is it? What does that smell like after 40 years? What sort of gumption do you have to ask your friend for their jockstrap?
Yeah.
You think I can get those undies?
Hey, I know that you just won the biggest fight of your career and maybe the biggest fight in boxing history. Hey, because you think of the things you could ask for. Shoes, gloves, trunks, robe, stool.
Yeah, it would just mean everything if after this club hour I could get your boxer briefs. That'd be awesome.
Can I have
You
your...
got it.
Can I have your jock?
Well, that's probably like the last thing left, you know? Everything was all picked over.
He asked him, he's like, sorry, man, everything's going somewhere. He's like, what about that jock you're wearing? He's like, hold on. And then he Mean Joan Greens it to him. He's like, he says no, and then as he walks away, he slips his cheeks out of it, throws it over. He's like, hey, buddy, here you go. Flings the jock at him. Oh, my God. People have no shame.
They really don't. And the number one top 10 strangest sports collectible sold at auction, a Pontiac Silverdome urinal signed by Barry Sanders.
Hey,
that's right.
You know what? Now, is it a clean-looking urinal?
Working condition?
Dude, that's the best one that you could have. You could do a lot worse. Of all the crap that's been sold, if you were some rich dude and you had like a kick-ass like bar in your house, you could do a lot worse than in your bathroom having that urinal signed by Barry Sanders.
So the dude, okay, so this guy, this Lions guy,
Yeah.
Mike Kozan was his name. He's pretty smart because he bought because they blew up the Silverdome, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he bought the urinal, one of the urinals from the Silverdome for $23.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a tasty little deal right there.
Well, then he goes and he has Barry Sanders sign it.
Yeah.
Because he said he was joking with his girlfriend, and she was like, "You're not going to have him sign the urinal." He's like, "Watch this." So he did, and he put it in on eBay. It sold for $3,000.
Wow, that's a great return.
46 bids.
Wow. That's
pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I don't know that is cool, but it's
look of all of those things. The only one that I can make any sort of case in having is the Barry Sanders urinal, because that could be like a fun, like again, you own a sports bar in Detroit. And like you'd be like, hey, where are you going? I'm going over to Silverdomes. Yeah, it's a sports bar around the corner. It's pretty cool. They got a Barry Sanders urinal you can take a piss in. I can see where there's like an element of like fun about that, right? Like at least there's
cheeky.
At least it's a little cheeky. If you remember when we had the great Bert Sugar who used to come on the program.
Yeah.
Bert said that I want to say it was in the late 60s, early 70s, they renovated Yankee Stadium. And Bert's a New York guy. And this was before memorabilia was anything. And they were throwing away all of that stuff into a dumpster. And Bert asked, he knew someone that worked at Yankee Stadium and said, what are you doing with all this stuff? And the guy's like throwing it away. And Bert said he went and got a U-Haul and loaded up. He loaded up lockers, he loaded up seats, all of that stuff. And he said he paid for his kids' college with that stuff. He said
amazing.
All those years later, he kept it in a storage locker, and then all that stuff became collectible. And Bert said he sold it all and paid for all of his kids' education.
God, what a treasure he was.
Yes. He was smart enough, because now when they renovated Yankee Stadium again, I remember, because I think we got my dad one of this for his birthday. They took like the carpet out of the locker room and they cut it up into little 8x10 squares. And they were selling that for like a couple $100, and people would buy it and frame it. And we did it for like my dad. But like back in the day, none of that stuff was anything.
Yeah.
I think back then people were a little smarter with their money. And then we got to like the 80s and 90s and we're like, dude, we'll buy anything associated with sports.
All right. Coming up next in the news, sneaky big storm rolled through last night.
Oh yeah, dude, it was nuts.
And it really kind of was.
Yeah.
And I have local concert news that you can use. That's next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with the Sports Center update. First on the Fan, a big one on the hardwood tonight in Los Angeles as Luca, LeBron, and the Lakers host the Dallas Mavericks. It's the first meeting between the two teams since the Mavericks traded Luca to the Lakers. Tip off for that one at 7 o'clock over on TNT. The Blazers off tonight after a win Monday against the Jazz. They will take on the Wizards Wednesday in our nation's capital. DeAndre Ayton, Matisse Thybulle, and Robert Williams have already been ruled out for Portland. Out of the NFL Scouting Combine, Bengals Director of Player Personnel Duke Tobin says the team intends to make Jamar Chase the highest-paid non-quarterback in football next season. Meanwhile, Browns General Manager Andrew Berry says the franchise has no plans to trade all-pro defensive end Myles Garrett, who's expressed frustration with the team. Kansas City Chiefs GM Brett Veach told the media at the Combine he expects veteran tight end Travis Kelce to return next season, despite rumors that Kelce may elect retirement. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley from 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Live, local, and free. No subscription required. Portland's sports leader is...
All right, nice to have you along. Big Tuesday program.
True story.
But not really. We're just partying. We're having a good time. The weather's getting nice.
Yeah.
How about that? The sun came out.
Yeah, yesterday was nuts.
Last night.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it. It is time for In the News, Feb 25, 2025.
Window rattling.
I'm your noted newsman. Thank you. It is brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys at advocateslaw.com. It is National Clam Chowder Day.
I do love, although that shouldn't be
a Friday.
Yeah, it's a Friday.
I know.
Because clam chowder is a Friday thing.
No, sir. Oh, well, I mean, it is, but not today, bitch.
Dude, I'll tell you what. You can do a lot worse than some oyster crackers in a steaming bowl of.
Gotta tell you.
You're not a fan?
Not a fan.
Really?
No. Never order it. Don't like it.
Wow.
I've had a good one too. My wife likes it, and she's like, "Oh, you gotta try this. It's gonna be so good."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You don't understand. This is so good." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's good. I can tell that it's good. It's just not not my taste."
Are you not a chowder fan at all?
No. No.
Because you can get a good potato corn chowder. There's a nice seafood chowder.
Yeah, is it like the flavors, the consistencies, the ingredients?
I think it's the clam because you're right. There are other chowders. I just am not a soup or.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
chowder.
Yeah, it's just not my thing.
Soup and chowder, it's all in the same.
It's all in the same category, and I kind of never order it. I find it all very unsatisfying.
I only do it at certain times of the year. Like, you will not get me eating soup or chowder in August. But like last night's a chowder night. You know, you get a cold, stormy night, and you get a nice bowl of something.
Fair.
You know, maybe some gumbo to take a lap around.
I had gumbo last night when I got home.
Yeah.
It's also quiet day, so shut up.
Oh, yeah. That's for parents out there.
Yeah, it was a sneaky big storm. They said there was a bunch of lightning out there.
Yeah, people lost some power.
Thousands are still without power.
Yeah.
In Portland.
Yeah. We had we didn't lose power or anything, but the windows rattled a little bit. And,
yeah.
You know, it's
Did your lights flicker?
I didn't get the lights flicker at all, but we did get some rattle, and then. Of course, you got to be careful because you look on the news, you see all the trees blown down, and we have those 2 massive trees in the backyard, and that always concerns me. Because we've had like some of the sheds and stuff that gets hit with some of the big widowmaker branches. That is always my irrational fear, is that one of those 80-foot trees is going to come down on my house.
I know, man. You look around at all these trees, and you just go, God, how do these not just come crumbling down all the time?
Yeah.
It does happen. There were multiple down trees last night, but yeah. I mean, I feel like there's really no house, if you live in and around Portland, that's safe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's a real thing.
They're all just like swords hanging above our heads.
Well, and even if the tree doesn't come down, I've had twice, like a 40-pound branch come down from 50 feet up, and it's like a spear. It goes right through the top of the shed. And I had one that went through and it's not like a plastic shed. It's a wooden, big, thick shed. Went through the roof and impaled itself into the bottom floor. And if it goes through a roof and a floor like a spear, I just think about, what if that hits somebody?
And did you hear it? Did you hear the sound of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we used to have, we took them all out, but we had some trees that would drop limbs on our house. We had so much damage over the years.
Yeah.
But we'd be sleeping at night, and you'd hear a big loud thud, and it would be a branch. And you go out there and look at the branch, and it's not even that big.
Yeah.
And it sounded like Thunderdome out there.
It's
weird.
It scares me too, that because my dog likes to be outside so much. That's my biggest fear, is that he's gonna get hit by one sometime. Because even during the rain and whatever, he just always wants to be outside. So when the wind starts blowing, I tell the big fella, sorry buddy, he wants to go outside, and we're like, nope, we're not doing that.
Local concert news you can use.
Ooh, what do we got?
Bro.
Wu-Tang Clan is coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is their last tour.
Well, they've lost some members.
Yeah.
They just dropped a new album with Run the Jewels.
Okay.
That means nothing.
Well, they have new music out.
I like
How's
Wu-Tang
that?
Clan. I back in the day, I had my Wu-Tang phase.
Well, 36 Chambers is one of the great albums of all time.
Their tour is called The Final Chamber.
Oh.
Wu-Tang Forever. It launches June 6 in Baltimore, and they will play Portland's Moda Center on July 1.
I will be there. That is definitely one I will want to see, but do we really believe that is
the final one?
The final one?
Probably not until they need... Well, it probably is until they need money.
Well,
You know.
They're young enough that this is not the final.
Yeah, they're not that old.
No.
How old are they?
God, so they got to, they've been around,
50s?
I'm going to say probably late 50s, early 60s for a lot of those guys. And I know a couple of members have died, but never...
How many of them are there?
Oh, there's
I don't
a
even know
bunch.
that.
There's a bunch of Wu-Tang guys. But like, was it Papa Wu's dead, Old Dirty Bastard passed away.
ODB.
Dirt McGirt, same guy. But yeah, like, they've got to be in their late 50s, early 60s. Just never believe that the farewell tour is the farewell tour until...
You're right.
You
just never believe it.
Well, Leonard Skinner's still touring, for God's sakes, and I don't think there's a single original member.
Yeah, but at least they don't say it's their last tour.
Yes. It's just
they're just like, yep, we're coming again, and again, and again. It's
like,
a bit like Journey and Heart. I feel like they're in Def Leppard. I feel like they're always touring.
They are, because they make buttloads of money.
But is there a law of diminishing returns with that at all?
It doesn't matter.
Probably
because
not,
they keep making.
People just keep going.
Well, my buddy, when he ran the amphitheater, which I don't even know what it's called anymore, but the Ridgefield Amphitheater, he said the dirty
Hayden
little,
Holmes Amphitheater,
something like that.
Something like that.
He said the dirty little secret of the touring world is they don't make any money off of when Beyonce comes to town. The promoter makes no money because it costs so much to pay Beyonce to come. Where they make their money, Def Leppard and Heart. Because thousands of people show up and it doesn't cost that much to get them to come there, and you sell a ton of beer.
So the best, the beer, yeah. The best concert to get if you're the venue
is one that's low cost to you.
Is one that's so bad but people love and get housed.
Yes.
Like they're bad because they don't cost anything. They're just happy to have a venue to go play.
Yep.
But
a lot of hair bands.
But they'll fill it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he said the only reason you bring in the Beyoncés or whatever is because you need to be known as a big venue.
Exactly.
And you need to bring those acts in, and then the labels and the industry and everybody, they need you to bring those in, but they don't make a bunch of money off Pearl Jam and play, because it's so expensive to pay the band.
Right.
But every year you'll notice, you mentioned like Def Leppard and Heart, they're always at the amphitheater because that is a big money maker to the people.
Well, it's a win-win.
Yes.
They make their money.
Yeah.
And the amphitheater makes its money.
Absolutely.
What else do I have for you? Portugal The Man is playing. They're headlining Pickathon out in Happy Valley.
Oh.
July. That's usually late July, early August.
That's a fun little. I've seen them a couple times. Great local band.
Yeah, they're great.
Yep.
And Pickathon is fun. I don't know if you've been to
I have not
Pickathon,
been.
but it's out at I forget the name of the farm, but it's in Happy Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Iggy Pop is coming to town.
Iggy Pop's still around, huh?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, wait, okay.
Is he still?
Apparently, he looks pretty good. I looked him up, so I thought the same thing. Then I went and looked him up. He looks pretty good, and he sounds.
Is he still? He's still shirtless, right?
God, the first picture I see does not look very good.
Well, he's
never looked. Okay, let me rephrase that. He's never looked good. He always looks. He just has that look, that rock star kind of.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look worse.
Like, he's very
You know what I
skinny
mean?
still, right?
Yeah,
Iggy
he's
Pop
skinny.
hasn't worn a shirt in like 40 years.
He's got the hair. He in this photo out that they're promoting for this show. He does have a shirt.
Oh, really?
He does have a shirt.
Boy, that's an upset.
But I'm guessing that most of his shows, people want him to take it off, and he probably does. You know,
He was Bert Kreischer before Bert Kreischer. Where are the Stooges? Are they coming along?
He will be. Let's see. Iggy. There's this thing called Project Pabst, and this, I think it's their second year since coming back to Portland. It's at Waterfront Park.
Oh.
And this will also be in July.
Okay.
July 26th and 27th. It is 21 and over festival. Iggy Pop, Devo.
Wow. You could.
Can I say the P word if it's in a band?
Is this faster? Yeah, I think you can.
Is this P Riot? Is that who you're
It's
talking
not
about?
Faster P-Cat.
Is this the
It's
Russian?
Mannequin P.
Oh.
Can I say that? Like,
I
I
don't-
don't feel comfortable saying that.
Yeah, I don't know. How about, yeah, we all know.
Yeah, okay.
What is
I don't
I've
think
never
I
heard
could
of,
eat beaver.
I've never heard of mannequin.
Mannequin P.
No.
And then that's on Saturday. And then Sunday, it's Death Cab for Cutie.
Okay.
Built to Spill, who I had a Built to Spill phase.
I don't know Built to Spill.
And Japanese Breakfast. Say She. I saw them once. A lot of drugs at that show.
I can see that.
They were good, though.
Yeah.
Dust Bunny. Does that tickle your...
That does not tickle my taint. But, I'd go see Devo and Iggy Pop. You could talk me into that.
So Billy Idol was here last year with that.
Yeah.
Show.
But we do a lot of fun stuff in the summertime here. There's a lot of good concerts. I think you were gone, but they announced they're doing the Pioneer Courthouse Square concert series.
Oh.
And
Who's at that?
They're doing I think there's 10 shows, and there's 2 that I was excited about. I'm trying to remember the one, but in August, Ben Harper is coming and is playing at Pioneer Courthouse Square.
Just right there on the bricks there?
I would assume so.
So how many can you even...
I don't know, but Dude, you tell me Ben Harper's playing in downtown Portland, an outdoor thing in August. Sign me up. And there was another. I'd have to look it up, but there was a couple really good ones that were coming to that.
Coming up next.
I love me some Ben Harper.
Is it too much to ask for a little more structure within our little leagues?
Probably.
Apparently it is. That next on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top stories. Brought to you by Window Nation, online at windownation.com.
Forced to play this one out. McDaniels the option here. He's the first option. He'll drive on Caruso, who commits the foul. And McDaniels lays it up and in. He's going to go to the line to tie this game.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hot sports highlight.
Well, look.
I didn't even hear it. What was it?
Minnesota came back from 24 down.
Oh, yeah. They were down 22 at
It was one of the most historic comebacks in the last 4 minutes of NBA history.
Unbelievable block. Unbelievable block at the end.
Wait. They were 24 down in the last 4 minutes, and they won?
I don't know if that deficit may not have been the last 4 minutes, but it was the largest deficit overcome in the last 4 minutes in a regular season game ever.
No way, bro.
Yeah. And give Minnesota credit, because if for a game like that in the regular season, most teams roll over and die.
Yeah,
and
that's
they kept going.
The Fans Window into Sports brought to you by my friends at Window Nation. 50% off all window styles. 5 years interest-free financing through the end of the month. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt. Are you going to games? Are you supporting the program? Are you spending your money on tickets? Because nobody's going to this stuff. Well, going to the game is, especially for a lot of people in
Politis.
No.
So the latest is in Ridgefield, up by you.
Yeah, it's north of me, but yeah.
But the Ridgefield Little League is out more than $110,000 US.
Ooh, that sucks.
After the league's treasurer, Eric Hebner, transferred money from the league's account into his own and wrote checks to himself from the league's checking account. He used it.
What kind of slimeball do you have to be to steal from kids' athletics?
Also, he sounds lazy. You just wrote checks to yourself from the Little League? That's the best you can do to cover it up?
Right. Like, how are you not going to get caught?
Of course you're getting caught if anyone looks at it one time.
Yeah, but again,
but no one looks at it. That's the thing.
That's what he thought.
Yeah.
Well, I guess somebody, I mean, they caught him.
He did it for a while.
It's just amazing that this, I don't know. You would think that there would be some sort of governor on all this, but...
Well, I don't know, because this was so many moons ago, and now that things have gotten more advanced, but my dad helped start Clark County Youth Football, CCYF, which is now a huge thing. And then we used to run it out of our garage. And it was him and two other dudes. And, like, how easy it would have been to embezzle money is shocking.
Yeah.
And so when you say
you probably had a bunch of cash in your garage.
Absolutely. So
checks.
we would do, our fundraiser was beef jerky. So we would get like hundreds of cases of Papa Don's beef jerky, and then they would sell it. And guess where that money would come? It'd come back to our house. And so how hard is it to...
Little Jason skim a little off the top?
Oh, I sold a lot of beef jerky. And at the end of it, like you would have...
He's not admitting it.
The amount of beef jerky that I stole was criminal.
We had like chocolate bars for our Little League, and I swear I never sold it. I would just eat the box of chocolate bars, and my mom would have to come up with the 20
bucks. But you
bucks
didn't take any cash?
No. The cash with my dad took that very, very seriously. But when you say like you write checks to yourself, so my dad would go and buy shoulder pads for a team, and he would put that on a credit card and then would be reimbursed through the fund. So you would write a check to yourself. Again, how easy would it be to say, I bought $3,000 worth of shoulder pads. I'm going to write a check for $4,300 for shoulder, and no one checks. It's a handful of pads here. And when you're buying hundreds of these things, I'll bet you that is so easy to do.
And all the positions are volunteer, unpaid.
Everyone.
So there's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should be skeptical of anyone who wants to be the treasurer of a Little League.
Yeah.
I mean, my eyes are on you right there.
Yeah. And now I said these have become bigger. Like when we did it, or when my dad did it, there just wasn't another option. We did it because in order to play football in Clark County, you had to go play in the like the St. Joseph's League over in Portland. So when they started it, it was like this rinky-dink mom and pop thing, and now these are massive organizations with big budgets, and $110,000 is a lot of cake.
And they said the board finally learned of the issue when a lot of their vendors started calling the league to say, "Hey, we haven't been paid." So all the guy had to do was just pay the vendors. And then skim his little...
And that's how
nobody would have
every
caught
one
him.
of these starts is you start off small and then you get bigger and bigger. And
Greed gets everyone.
Before you know it, you're in too deep.
Well, apparently he was using it for personal use, bills.
Yeah.
He spent money on TikTok. And...
To do what?
I don't know. I was going to ask you guys, how do you spend money on TikTok?
Do you get like premium content or something? I don't know.
Well, he did spend money on the adult website... OnlyFans.
Nice.
Mr. Eric Hebner, ladies
Can we get
and
his
gentlemen.
subscription list? I want to know who he's checking out on there.
Dude, I just love that dude was stealing to pay for his OnlyFans habit. Good Lord. Just, again, when you have budgetary, when you control the budget, just like you said, be careful. There's very few people want to do that, so if you volunteer, ask why.
He paid his Northwest Natural Gas bill with it.
No, yeah.
Some of the funds.
Yeah.
They have him at $36,000 in cash withdrawals, $6,000 in checks written to himself, $12,000 in Venmo payments, and $2,500 in payments to TikTok, $6,000 in payments to Comcast.
What are you paying $2,500 for TikTok for?
I don't know.
It's online. It's porn. I'm sure he's paying online because the TikTok, they've got the streamers. I'm sure you're paying for premium content, which is, someone doing bad things.
He's been charged with 1 count each of theft and writing unlawful checks, 5 counts of forgery. He's doing court March 5th.
How much do you think the divorce is going to cost him?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's married, but if he was, he ain't anymore.
Guessing the wife isn't going to be real happy about that.
That from Ridgefield. There is your In the News, Feb 25, 2025.
You have to do the, honey, yeah, the OnlyFans, but look at this sweet piece of jewelry I bought you, too. I was spreading the wealth around.
Yeah, how do you even wiggle out of that?
You don't.
She's like, you freaking loser.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
God.
That's a tough one to bounce back from.
She's a grade A bitch. I'm going to go bang the third base coach.
That's probably a fair sort of thing. You go find the guy in the league that he hates the worst, and you stoop him.
Hot 5 at 5 is next on The Fan.
Time is ticking away. Rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
Good afternoon. At the tone, Pacific Daylight Time will be...
It's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
One step closer to my own personal hell.
This is Primetime on Sports Radio 1080 The Fan.
We expect the best. We're not afraid to break someone. Do you hear me?
Primetime is your source for the best in local, regional, and national sports.
Go ahead and clap. Mediocrity deserves applause.
Isaac Rodden.
I'm miserable. I had to get up at 10 o'clock this morning.
Jason Sakanet.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Primetime on 1080 The Fan.
All right. Welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Tuesday. It's your Sports Bros, Rob and Sook. I'm Rob. Big Sook's right over there.
Right here.
Look at him. Ryan Buckley is here.
I ripped his ass, quite frankly.
It's been aggressive.
Whoa. And it makes me sad.
Coming up tonight in the club, I have the latest on our asteroid that is going to kill us.
What, 3% chance now, right?
Well, it was last time we talked. I have the latest, though.
Oh, boy.
Exclusively here.
3.5.
It was 3 point. I think it got to 3.1.
It's your ass,
I think that's
Mr.
the last time we
Postman.
talked about it was 3.1.
Well,
oh no.
If you're wondering what it is now, you're going to find out.
Yeah.
We have yet another near runway collision we need to discuss.
Dude, this video is terrifying. I have hot bear news. 2 pieces.
2 pieces of hot bear news.
2 pieces of hot bear news.
And we're going to learn about Soon Bang.
Come again?
Her name is Soon Bang.
Is this like put a sheet on it? We're not certain how this is being pronounced.
Put a sheet on it.
No, it's Soon Bang, and it's Soon Bang for a reason.
All right. Suddenly a lot to get to. I don't even know if we'll get to my hot bear news. Sounds like we're loaded in the club.
I'm going to jot down hot bear news here just so I can remember.
Well, you know, bear news comes to it comes in bunches. And these are 2 good pieces of bear news.
This hour, we have a good old-fashioned train heist I'd like to talk about with you guys.
Ooh.
But
isn't everyone intrigued by a good train heist?
Yeah.
Did you see what? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I don't
see
either.
what they have.
With the 310 to Yuma? What do we? What? There's like.
Well, yeah, I think it was in Arizona.
This is what
maybe it was the 310 to Yuma.
It might have been the 310 to Yuma.
How about that?
Do you know what was on the 310 to Yuma? I'm going to tell you this hour.
But given the choice of all the things that I could rob, you know, like in a fantasy camp sort of rob thing, wouldn't the train heist be number 1?
I think the train heist would be very interesting for a lot of reasons, which we can get into.
Yeah. It seems like it's like robbing a bank, but it's mobile. It's a little more fun.
And I feel like you got a better chance of getting away with it.
It's also cool because it's kind of timeless. It used to be the thing to do, but like you can still rob a train.
Yeah. Plus, everyone's going to be like, are you seriously robbing this train right now? And you're like, damn right I am. That's how I do it.
Don't you think it would be kind of fun to not really know what's on the train?
Yeah.
And just extract it and then, oh my God, look at this.
Yeah, like a potpourri, like a mystery grab bag sort of thing.
It's gold.
I don't think they ship gold via train.
No, it's probably like 20 billion doilies or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably something lame, but you know.
Then you go to old folks' homes and sell doilies. That's how it works.
There's a lot of money in the doily game.
All right, it's time now for the Hot 5 at 5.
Hot topics, hot opinions.
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
And hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Sue. Brought to you on The Fan by Victorico's Mexican Food. Discover Victorico's new savory menu items. Order in-store, online, or get it delivered straight to your door at victoricos.com. Number 5.
Luca Doncic and the Lakers host Dallas tonight. Uh-oh.
Yeah, first time since the trade heard around the world.
The over-under on Luca revenge points, 32.5.
Yeah, by the way, you got to take the under on that one. But
also, that double-double number moved big time.
Did it?
It's now heavy juice to the minus.
Yeah, because it was plus 110 on a Luca double-double.
I saw minus 190.
Yeah, you got it. Oh, gosh, that's
changed.
A monster shit.
I got that original number from sportsbetting.ag. You know how they email us?
Yeah.
They had an email about that this morning.
Well, it didn't last very long.
It did not. Even if that was the number.
Yeah.
That's just the number they put out. Yeah. The point spread is 9. It will be on TNT at 7 o'clock. And, you know, I got to tell you, I don't watch a lot of NBA. I'm watching tonight.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that.
I caught part of the Minnesota-Oklahoma City game when I heard the comeback, and then I caught part of the Blazer game, snippets. But this is definitely one that I think will get a lot of eyeballs. When's the last time you watched start to finish NBA?
1986.
It's been a bit. I catch pieces, but an entire thing, it's asking a lot of me.
The great Diana Taurasi is retiring after 20 seasons and 3 titles with the Phoenix Mercury of the WNBA.
And we tried to figure out if she's the greatest player of all time, and we settled because no one knew.
She is.
She's one of the greatest.
She is thought to be the greatest.
Well, Nike said in their statement, one of the greatest.
Well, look, there's a list on internet that has her the greatest, so I'm going with that.
Bold statement.
Sports Talk Radio
Considering
guy.
You knew one other female basketball player.
She is 42. She's the all-time leading scorer in the league. And she also won 6 Olympic golds. I mean, nobody can even...
It's a lot of...
Didn't she also win all 4 years at UConn, too? Or maybe it was 3? I thought she won a bunch of titles with Ariema.
She's won at every level.
Yeah.
But she sucked in high school.
I think Breanna Stewart won 4 at UConn.
I'm just kidding. She was probably great in high school.
That would be my guess, yes.
That's how you get to UConn.
I don't think UConn is taking a bunch of schlubs. Well, that's the way that works.
Notes from the Combine. Chiefs GM says he expects a fired-up Travis Kelce to return next season.
Yeah, but then Andy Reid was like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I don't think this is in the Chiefs' best interest to bring him back. I don't know why they think that bringing back an old and not necessarily an effective Travis Kelce at the number that he is making, I think it'd be better for Kansas City to move off of him. I think they should cut it.
He's 35, and he himself remains non-committal. He has not said what he's going to do. Bengals executive says they're preparing to make receiver Jamar Chase the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league.
Yeah, well, because those dumbasses didn't sign into an extension, and he kept outplaying his money. Just like T. Higgins outplayed the tag. Yeah, they're trying to keep their players together. They've got 3 all-pro players they have to re-sign, but Cincinnati's just a mess. And if they do franchise tag T. Higgins again, it's just going to piss him off. Cincinnati is the best team that's the worst run.
Yeah, did you see that they were going to, when the news came they were going to tag Higgins, his mom hopped on Instagram and called them selfish bastards?
Yes.
The number 1 recruit in the class of 2026, 5-star offensive tackle Jackson Cantwell calls Dan Lanning his favorite coach. He cites his Missouri roots. This kid is from Nixa, Missouri.
That's why he's his favorite, is from Missouri?
Well, yeah, he's a Missouri kid, and of course, Lanning is from Missouri.
Just seems like a weird reason why he's your favorite coach.
So Nixa, Missouri is south of Springfield, north of Branson, if you care. His Missouri Tigers are one of the final 6, along with Ohio State, Michigan, and Miami. But it is thought to be that his top 2 are Oregon and Georgia.
Both with Dan Lanning connections. Time to break out the old pocketbook there. Start writing checks. And he's this coming class, or what?
2026.
They're in the top 2 for a couple top guys. Chris Henry's kid, Chris Henry Jr., they're top 2 for him with Ohio State, and also the top quarterback, Jared Curtis.
Apparently USC, by the way, has gotten their head out of their ass and is back to recruiting again.
Yeah, they just flipped an Oregon quarterback.
Yeah.
Commanders give Pro Bowl defensive lineman Jonathan Allen permission to seek a trade. The sides are already discussing where to deal him. They want to do right by him. He has just 1 year left on his deal at $15 million. The Browns GM says he will not trade Myles Garrett despite the player's request to do so.
Let's see how this goes.
Elsewhere,
it's a good idea to get in a pissing match with your best player that doesn't want to be there.
Cleveland, they say they view Colorado's Travis Hunter as a receiver primarily. Although Titans coach Brian Callahan came out today and he said he thinks that Hunter can play both ways.
Yeah, and look, the both ways thing is a bit disingenuous. Look, he's going to be a starting corner in the league. And despite what anyone tells you, you can't play 130 snaps. And he's already been nicked up in college. You can't do this. So
you might have some gadget plays for him, maybe.
Someone will bring him in as a starting corner, and then he'll play, I don't know, 15 to 20 snaps as a receiver. He'll be the 2 or maybe the slot guy. Play on obvious passing situations, 3rd and long situations, but he is not going to be a full-time receiver in DB. And most people overwhelming them have as being a corner. What I don't understand is this idea that because he played both, that he's this generational talent, and it's just not true. Now, granted, he's a very good corner, but if all he was a corner, you would not be drafting him number 1. You don't draft a corner number 1. And by the way, he doesn't project anywhere near Darrelle Revis or
that kind of number one corner. No, he's generational versatility, but not one spot.
I just think this is, and don't get me wrong, Travis Hunter is a very, very good player, but he is a borderline first round prospect as a receiver. And he's a very, very good corner, maybe the first or second corner off the board. But putting those two things together, this idea that he is like the best player in this draft, I do not understand the logic behind the Travis Hunter stuff.
We will get to more of that in the NFL Musings segment coming up. The Hot 5 is brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, now with 19 locations across Oregon and Washington, now in Lacamas Square in Vancouver. Find a location near you at victorricos.com. When you think of flavor, think of Victor Rico's. A good old-fashioned train heist and what they got next on The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube.
where to move it to. I'm sure you have people that buy that stuff in bulk. Maybe not every pair, but I'm sure you have people that buy hundreds of pairs at a time and then turn around and sell those.
Remember that kid that was stealing them?
Yeah, he was using his mom's contact. So he wasn't stealing them. He was just buying shoes that he had at Nike discounts and then really rare sneakers and then selling them at inflated prices. By the way, 2023 retailers, would you care to guess in theft? US.
2023 U.S. retailers.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I mean, $4 billion.
$112 billion.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why you're paying for anything.
They said by the end of 2025, if current trends continue, losses are estimated in the $140 billion range. And this goes back to why CVS stores are shutting down, Walgreens, Targets, Walmarts. Nike shut down the main store here in Portland. We are Nike Town, and we shut down the Nike Town here. And a lot of places are just at the point now where they're like, we're not doing this anymore. It's not worth it. And now you go into some of these places, like if you go to Targets or like Walgreens, literally everything is behind glass. Like if you want anything, you have to go get an employee in order to buy anything.
I can't blame him, but I told you the story. I went into a store downtown Portland not too long ago, and they're in there, but it looks closed, but they're standing right by the door, and they have to unlock the door to let you in.
Yeah.
And then they're just all over you while you're in there.
Yep.
And I get it, but I also was so turned off, there's no way I was buying anything from them.
Well, we actually have to start punishing people. You see YouTube clips all the time where you get groups of people, there'll be like 15 of them, they run into a Nike store or, whatever, and they literally just go through and they grab entire racks of merchandise and then run out the door. And they're like, oh, cool, we're taking everything. And at some point, that has to change. I know that you can say all you want about companies that make billions and all that. You can't have this trend.
There needs to be a societal consequence to do something like that.
There has to be. Yeah, someone's saying all Legos now behind the glass in Walmart and Target.
Which is ridiculous. It's a kid's toy.
It's a kid's toy.
Aren't Legos like really
expensive?
Depends on the sets. Like you can get really specific ones. We did a story in the news. I think it was from Springfield. Cops busted a Lego ring.
Big heist.
But it's all viewed as like victimless crimes because it's just soulless corporations and whatever. But again, it's all fun and games until all the stores that you want to shop at don't exist in your community anymore because they're all like, well, we're not doing this.
All right. Well, there's a bunch of Nikes out there.
Yeah.
I don't think that costs Nike anything. That's more between the carriers.
I don't know how all that goes, but it's not good. And then
it's a lot of dough.
It is $2 million.
I think a lot of people are sleeping on how much stuff still goes by rail in the U.S.
Yes.
I don't think, we see these trains and we're like, ew, what's even on there?
No.
Dude.
Everything.
Stuff.
Yeah. Cool stuff,
Lots
man.
of it.
Well, I would say the vast majority because it's probably by far the most economical way. Otherwise, look at all the semis you're having to use to ship stuff around.
And we have the infrastructure, albeit falling apart. But
let's look, see, almost half, 49.5% of all goods are shipped by rail.
Self-driving semis are going to change the game, right?
We're still at half, huh?
Yeah, it's still going to be a very expensive way to do it because you look at what a train can do versus you're dealing with one 18-wheeler. There's only so much that can cost. I think by far the most cost-effective way to get anything anywhere is by rail.
NFL musings coming up next. Travis Hunter playing both ways. And was it Aaron Glenn's decision to punt on Aaron Rodgers? That's next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on the Fan, a big one on the hardwood tonight in Los Angeles as Luca, LeBron, and the Lakers host the Dallas Mavericks in the first meeting since the two sides swapped superstars, with Luca going to L.A. and Anthony Davis going to Dallas. Tip-off for that one is at 7 o'clock. It's over on TNT. The Blazers off tonight after a win Monday against the Jazz. They'll take on the Wizards Wednesday. with DeAndre Ayton, Matisse Thybulle, and Robert Williams all sidelined for tomorrow evening's contest. Out at the NFL Scouting Combine, Bengals Director of Player Personnel, Duke Tobin, says the team intends to make Jamar Chase the highest-paid non-quarterback in the NFL next season. Bengals General Manager Andrew Berry says the franchise has no plans to trade All-Pro defensive end Myles Garrett. And Chiefs GM Brett Veach told the media he expects veteran tight end Travis Kelce to return to KC next season, despite rumors that Kelce may elect to retire. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley, the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan. It's time for Who's Leading the Charge. A look under the hood at the coaches, players, and teams getting it done. Brought to you by Battery Exchange.
Absent. Just checked in, gets it to Demery. He'll fire away on another three. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, somebody from Georgia, maybe you said?
Yeah, Georgia, unranked Georgia, thumping number 3 Florida at home in Athens.
Yeah, they are getting drilled.
Scored over 50 in the first half.
It's a 10-point game.
Well, it was worse.
It was 20, I think.
I'd say that Florida team is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I saw someone. I think it was Jay Billis just said, "Hey, for Florida, sometimes it's just one of those nights. It's just not your day."
Well, it's not over yet.
No.
Who's Leading the Charge? Powered by Battery Exchange. Mention code BXT10 at checkout for 10% off your entire purchase this month online at batteryexchangewithAX.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always
Time to talk some NFL.
Being a man of increase.
A man of increase.
Free agent man of increase.
Yeah. Well, he's good backup. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess.
It's a beautiful day. Some talk that he may be winding down and maybe looking for an analyst role.
Oh, yeah, he'd be good at that.
Yeah.
Although
I don't know if he'd be a good game analyst. He'd be a great studio dude, though, I think.
But you never know with these guys.
You never know.
I mean, I liked Robert Griffin III at first. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, he's out of the game.
There's just a belief that maybe when he's done, because I think he's 31, 32, and you kind of know what he is at this point. Certainly he could still play if he wanted to, but there's some talk that he may be in a studio or a booth before too long.
Well, anyway, Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner, Colorado. You were talking about him.
Yeah.
I wanted to read you what Brian Callahan said about him.
Yeah, because we now have 2 teams at the top of the draft saying they view him in 2 different ways.
Callahan said that he thinks Hunter would start at cornerback. It would be very, very difficult to be a full-time player on both sides of the ball. He says, though, this is the GM, sorry, the quote is, I think he could. You've seen it before. I'm looking for Callahan's quote. I had it here. Now it's gone. Bloop, 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 he said it's very realistic Hunter can play both ways in the NFL as he did in college.
See, and that's just not true.
So he'd start at corner and work in as a wide receiver.
Yeah, but, I mean, he played 100-plus snaps in college. You can't do that in the NFL. I mean, receivers and DBs break down all the time. Playing, and Travis Hunter was chipped up in college. So you're now going to take a guy and you're going to ask him to play 100 snaps a game over 17 weeks. It's not going to happen. So yes, the one that makes most sense is being a full-time DB and then again playing 15 to 20 snaps on offense. But this notion that he is going to be some sort of two-way full-time player, it's not going to happen. This is not Shohei Ohtani. Okay, this is not where it's going to work. And by the way, he is not a very big guy at all. In fact, if you remember, was it 2 years ago when he got his kidney or his liver lacerated? Like, he is not a guy that has a great frame. And so why you're spending a top 3 pick on someone and then try to break that guy down in 3 or 4 years is just silly. So he can say that he wants to play both and he'll be a gadget player on one side of the ball, but he's just not. So this idea, too, that he's a generational player, I just don't get it because he's not a generational receiver and he's not a generational DB. He's unique in that we've never really seen someone play both ways like this. We've seen like the Charles Woodsons of the world that kind of do gadget stuff, but we've never seen someone. So from that aspect, he's truly unique, but he's not generational at either one of these things. So I don't get the generational label that we're putting on him in the NFL.
Is he like Troy Brown? Who was like, you remember the receiver who went and played some DB when they needed him to?
Yes.
And he was good.
So, I mean, look, if you're taking Travis Hunter with the first or second or third pick, sure. If you think he is, as a corner, worth taking as the first, second, or third pick. But I think as a media in general, I think we have overhyped this because it is unique and it's different and we've never seen anything quite like it. But he does not project out probably as a first-round wide receiver, and he's not the best corner prospect we've seen. Like, Champ Bailey coming out was like, oh my God, this is truly unique. I don't even think he projects when you look at most people like a Patrick Surtain, who was Defensive Player of the Year. He projects out as a first, a top 15 selection at corner.
Yeah.
So if he goes number 1 overall, I'm telling you, that will be one of the bigger reaches at number 1 I've seen.
Yeah, so most of the analysts, like you said, I mean, they all think he's a corner.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because the Browns came out and said that they view him primarily as a receiver.
Yes.
And the Browns picked number 2. So perhaps they're doing some...
Yeah, it could be a smokescreen too. If someone wants to give you a bunch to move up, by all means, move up and take him because he is not someone that if you pass on, you are going to be sitting there kicking yourself years from now. It's just, that's not the way corners work, and really it's not the way receivers work. I mean, yeah, if you get a Jefferson or a Jamar Chase, and no offense to Travis Hunter, he is not one of those guys. He just isn't. He is not built like one. He doesn't move like one. And I doubt he's going to go, I don't think he's going to run at the combine, but he's not a 4.3 guy, and he's not a big physical guy. He's a long, smooth flowing athlete, but he is not a physical freak other than his stamina is incredible. But when he even did that in college, he actually got burned a lot as a DB simply because I think of a fatigue factor. Which again comes into play where you're not playing 100+ snaps over 17 weeks in the NFL. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, he's. They say he's going to work out as a DB.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, Aaron Glenn, the new coach of the Jets, said something interesting. 2 weeks ago, the Jets basically announced that Aaron Rodgers would not be back.
Yeah.
But he's now saying it was his decision.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And I don't know that it was. Maybe he's trying to just fall on that sword. But, of course, some of the players were upset. Like Quinnen Williams came out and posted a thumbs down emoji.
Yeah, and Aaron Glenn, I guess, said I had to go to talk to him and be like, hey, probably not what we're looking for right now out of you.
Yeah, so what Glenn said was, yes, I have talked to him. And listen, I understand the reaction to the players, but I'll say this. Every decision that me and general manager Darren Moogie make is to win and to win now. So I understand it. But, again, this is not going to be the last decision I make that's going to upset some people, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But as men, we talk about it, we make sure we keep it in-house, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Do you think that Glenn got there and said, yeah, let's punt on this dude?
Wouldn't shock me one bit. In fact, I almost guarantee that that's what Aaron Glenn did. I'm sure there was discussions around it, but when you're hiring a coach and Aaron Glenn is taking over, my guess is the first conversation they had was what, and by the way, this goes for Pete Carroll in Vegas, anyone. What are we doing at quarterback? And I can't imagine that Aaron Glenn, who wants to build long-term success there, wants to deal with Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, they're going to get rid of Devontae Adams. They're going to get rid of Lazard. Like we're not doing the Aaron Rodgers buddy system here. And so, yes.
I get that, but at the same time, a first-year head coach, particularly an African-American head coach, who those guys have been fired more often than white head coaches after the first year.
Yeah.
You would think he would be like, well, I want to win.
I'm not certain that he believes Aaron Rodgers gives him the best chance to win. So,
we'll see what they do.
We'll see what they do. But no, I think that he is being honest there when he came in and said, I'm not doing this. I think it was probably a condition on him taking the job, to be honest with you. I don't think you want to bring in that baggage. And by the way, keeping Aaron Rodgers around the last 2 years, it didn't do anything for the last coach. So and I don't think it's going to do anything for Aaron
It's
Glenn.
A bit of a culture setter is kind of what I'm getting at,
yes.
The vibe I'm getting from him.
Yeah.
Because he's basically saying, because he said he was bristly about all the Aaron Rodgers questions from the very beginning. And he basically said, I don't want to disrespect, this is his quote. He said, I don't want to disrespect any of the players we have on our team. And it kind of pisses me off and some of the other players that's all we talk about.
Yes.
So he's saying, look, Aaron Rodgers may be good, may help me win, but I'm setting a culture here, and we can't have that distraction. So,
and let's also remember too that early in the season, my God, the owner wanted him benched, and I know the owner is a pain in the ass, but and now you're going to go tell the owner too that you're having to deal with that. It's the last thing you want when you're trying to put your stamp on a team. Now you do have to go out and find a quarterback, and I don't know what the Jets are going to do. I mean, there's like 6 teams right now that have to figure out the quarterback position, and the Jets are right there near the top.
Is Zach Wilson available?
That's quite well. You could bring back Sam Darnold.
No, seriously, where's Zach Wilson?
He was in Denver.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if he's still in Denver. I don't know where his contract is, but yes, he was in Denver, and I believe he still is.
Coming up next, what if Wemby's condition is serious? Next on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics. Brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Little Ducks football coaching staff news. They have brought in North Texas O-line coach Cutter Leftwich to add to the squad.
What?
Yeah. This follows Mike Kavanaugh's departure to Oregon State.
Yeah, Kavanaugh is back at Oregon State.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Where was he before?
Oregon.
Oh, that's right. He's bounced around so much I can never keep track.
Yes.
So he went back to Oregon State?
Yeah, he is the full time. Remember, he was an assistant guy at Oregon. He is the full O-line coach at Oregon State. Now we brought in Cutter for the Ducks.
Did we make a little too much of these?
Yeah, probably. But
it's a slow news day, man.
I cannot comment. Where was he before this?
North Texas, the Mean Green.
I cannot comment on the O-line play at North Texas. I'm sorry.
I can. Sucked. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure Cutter's great. And his name's Cutter, which is a bonus. Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
If you're considering new construction and want it done right and fast by a team that's
Okay. Hi. Hello. I was reading a story about Victor Wembanyama. You know, blood clots are no joke.
No, it can kill you.
I think that's what got our dear friend Jerome Kersey.
Yeah, he had surgery, I think, on like his knee, and then thought everything was okay. A blood clot formed, broke loose, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, and it's complicated because we don't know what caused Wemby's blood clot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, have we thought about the idea that this is pretty serious? Or very serious and maybe this young superstar won't be able to play much basketball.
Yeah, there is certainly...
Has anybody talked about this?
I think there is an idea of that he'll be fine, but...
why?
Because he's young and he's healthy and they caught it and, blood thinners and all that. But absolutely, I mean, this is a life-threatening condition. And if you continue to have blood clots, and again, we don't know how it's caused, but... I mean, blood clots can end a career if it is a reoccurring thing.
Exactly. That's what ended Chris Bosh's career, if you guys remember.
Yeah, I remember he had him and had to sit out. Was that a fit? Did it? Because he came back and played a little bit. But
he did. But you know how old he was when he retired?
How old?
31.
Wow.
He was not that old.
Not that old.
Chris Bosh's career was cut short because of this. Brandon Ingram had it. So this story went through several guys who have had this.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram had it, and his was... corrected by surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different reasons someone could get a blood clot. And by the way, Victor Wembanyama's is in his shoulder.
Yeah.
So now he's got to be on blood thinner, so they have to shut him down.
The one I saw said that, and again, I know so little about this. I just read an article where they said that repetitive overhead motion, like shooting, rebounding, all that stuff, because it's in his arm and shoulder, that it could have led to that.
Yeah, they said that anybody who works with their arms up a lot, like painters, for example, oftentimes get these. So it could be that. It's like it could be a repetitive motion thing. They can also, these clots, they can break free and travel to the lungs, and then you could die.
Absolutely.
A pulmonary embolism.
Yep.
The worst case scenario for him is that it is a genetic condition, in which case he cannot... you can't fix that. He has to be on blood thinners, and he can't play basketball.
Nope. Who is it? I know Tommy Frazier dealt with this, the old Nebraska quarterback. He sat out for
his knees.
In his leg or in his knees. Yeah, it's a serious thing. So I think whenever you hear this, I think the idea is, oh, he's young, he's healthy, he'll be fine. But absolutely, I think that is a lot scarier than some people want to admit.
I think they put us at ease by saying, "Oh, he'll be ready for camp and it's all good."
Until you get another one.
No, dude, he's got it. I guarantee you, they're right now studying where that came from and how, and it's a myriad of sort of outcomes depending on how he got that.
Like Brandon Ingram, I guess had some sort of like his rib was compressing something. Again, once this happened, like everyone becomes an expert. And I didn't even remember the Brandon Ingram one, but he had surgery. Like they removed part of his rib that was like compressing something that was helped contributing to it, and he's been okay. But yeah, no one. Like, you don't have access to his medical records, and they don't probably even know yet. But yes, I think the idea that this is just no big deal and he'll be fine next year, I'm with you, man. When you start talking about a life-threatening condition, that's not one that you can just easily dismiss. And wouldn't that be something if this generational player, the greatest NBA prospect since LeBron, they said, and by the way, he lived up to the hype, and it's cut short after a year and a half.
Dude, that would be something.
Be devastating.
That would suck.
Yes.
It would suck
after all we've seen with injuries to all these different big men, whether it's Kristaps or Chet Holmgren or guys who have come before him, he's been squeaky clean. So everyone's like, maybe he really is the unicorn that's unlike all the other guys. But anybody who's 7'3" or higher, it seems like, has something these days.
I know. And that's another route I was going. It's like, he is a pretty odd body type.
He's what, 7'5"?
Well, he said 7'3". I don't know. You said 7'5".
Yeah.
He might be 7'5". I'm just saying once you get to that 7'3" threshold, it seems like almost nobody's been able to stay healthy.
Because the human body isn't supposed to be.
No.
That's what I'm saying. And usually when you get guys that size, there are all kinds of health problems.
Yes.
The serious health problems. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Well, and that's even, they just...
I don't know.
Like, even from a joint standpoint, look at all the pressure and, like, the lever, like how the torque and everything when you have limbs that are that long. Like I said, it's just not, that's not normal. Yeah, they say 7'3", 235 pounds, according to Wikipedia. and hope for the best because that dude
All right.
is amazing. And who was it? Was it Anthony Edwards said that that Wemby's the face of the NBA? I mean, that is what you are betting on for the future of the NBA is Victor Wembanyama, and he was living up to the hype.
Wasn't it Chuck Barkley that said that?
I think it was Barkley that said he was upset with it because Anthony Edwards was asked, "Are you the next face of the league?" And Anthony Edwards said, who by the way does not lack confidence, said, "No, that's Wemby."
Yeah, and Chuck said you got to earn that.
Yeah,
or you don't just go get labeled that. You have to.
Yeah, you got to earn it, and
All right.
Obviously after a year and a half for Game 7. Can you say you've earned it? I don't know, but Victor Wembanyama was the real deal. He was not, and we've talked about this. When you get that kind of hype from Ken Griffey Jr. to LeBron James, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Wemby, when you have had a Bryce Harper, when you have had a guy that comes in with that kind of hype, more often than not, he lives up to it. I mean, when you put that sort of label, those guys usually don't fail. There's a reason why we talk about them the way we do, and he was on that path.
You think Flag is that level?
No. I mean, people talk about Flag as obviously being a franchise definer, but you don't hear Flag thrown away the way you did Wemby. You don't hear Flag thrown away or thrown around the way LeBron. LeBron was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16. I mean,
I heard Danny say Flag was after Wemby. He's I don't know if he said like last 20 years. Flag is behind Wemby.
Behind Wemby.
Flag is that level.
I mean, that's high praise, but it's not Wemby.
I tell you, Cooper Flag, dude.
Yeah.
He is unbelievable.
Well, he got the hype because he was playing in that USA Select thing.
I
with
know,
the
at
Olympic
like
guys,
16.
And they were saying that he was holding his own and then some.
Yeah, and he's
great at Duke.
We watched them earlier in the year, and he was pretty soft early in the year at Duke, but that stands to reason. He's young.
Yep.
He is now dominant.
Yeah. I'm just looking now through other players that have had blood clots, and you're right. A lot of them do end up retiring.
It's not good, man.
No.
I don't want to be an alarmist, but
no.
What's going on with Wembanyama is way more concerning probably in his camp than is out in the real world here.
Yeah, Serena Williams battled them, and she retired a couple years after having them. I mean, it's a real thing. Like, but so young, because I think a lot of these people, if you get towards the end and you're in your 30s and you've accomplished a lot, why risk it? Wemby in his 20s may roll the dice maybe a little bit more than some of those others. It may be very hard to walk away from a game at whatever he is, 21, 22 years old.
All right, the club is next. We have hot bear news and the latest on the asteroid that's going to kill us all. Next on The Fan. Hey, it's your window daddy. Oh, hey, it is your window daddy. Window Nation right now is offering half off all windows. Look, you probably have a lot of items at your house that you need to check off the list, right? Big things you got to buy. Maybe you need a new fence. Maybe you need a new roof. Maybe you need, I don't know, new doors or something. Or you need a new deck. Are you going to get half off any of that? I don't think so. If you need new windows, right now is the time to check that one off your list because Window Nation is offering you half off all window styles, 50% off until the end of the month, which is the end of this week. Plus, if you don't have all the cash up front, you don't have to pay a dime of interest. You can finance it for up to 5 years, interest-free, no payments. So go right now to windownation.com, or you can call them at 866-90-NATION and schedule your free in-home estimate. You don't have to go through with it, but they'll tell you how much it'll cost. You're going to save big. Real big, more on all those other things that you need for your house, windows, and you're going to save a bunch of money on your energy bills as well, and your house will look all sexy. 50% off all window styles right now, 5 years interest-free financing. Tell them you heard it from Rop on the Fan, windownation.com.
it's not. Temporary superintelligence is just a side effect of the mega seeds dissolving in your rectal cavity.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And once those seeds wear off, you're going to lose most of your motor skills, and you're also going to lose a significant amount of brain functionality for 72 hours, Morty. Starting right about now.
Club 1080 with Isaac and Souk is brought to you by Pub Beer, the official beer of Cheap Fun.
Google me, bitch. I only have amateur blood. I love dong news.
Now you've had enough, bitch.
Wild card, bitches!
The jacked a granny.
We jacked a granny today. I'm gonna shove a burrito in my ass.
Hey, it's me, Petey the Peppy Penis.
This son of a bitch.
They all suck balls.
Then the bonus rewards program kicks in.
Take off your shirt and throw me. Take off your shorts and dunk me. You want some pole?
Yeah, give me some pole. And I can squirt from a distance.
Yeah.
An Odyssey station.
Sucker.
Blazers. What? You know, I hope we elect to kick ass is what I hope we do.
You know, the Odyssey station there was a nice bow. You know.
What do you mean? Like
after all the
dumb crap we just played, it's like, yeah, just a reminder.
Yeah, it was.
This is who we are.
I really enjoyed that. That was a nice cherry on top. It just kind of wrapped everything up in a nice little package. I enjoyed that.
That's what you said.
The details that matter.
I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on.
Hold on. Wait.
The allergies.
You got the allergies, dude?
I don't know. Does anybody have allergies this time of year? Anybody else?
Nah,
because I kind of do. Although it could be
my sort of thing.
It could be my father-in-law's cats.
It's weird though, because I was thinking I was getting like a cold or getting sick from my kids at daycare, but I have been exceptionally sneezy and stuffy recently, so maybe it is an allergy thing. I don't know.
Could just be you're being a little bitch.
That's possible. Probably likely.
Yeah.
Should be a man.
It should be a man and not sneeze.
Dan Lanning says that's a choice.
Sneezing is a choice.
That's right. Suck it up. What was he? Do your twitchy squats.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're in the clear on the asteroid.
Oh, we're not going to get hit anymore?
No, they're saying
about that?
They're saying that. Well, they call it YR4. That's the asteroid that we're...
Seems kind of lame. Can't we have a cooler name?
A couple weeks ago, we were talking about this asteroid. They're saying, 3% chance going to hit Earth. Bleh.
I didn't like that 3% chance.
Yeah, it's pretty high. Like I said, it's the highest ever.
Yeah.
And scientists have now finally given the all clear to Earth. After and I don't know how they could possibly know this, but after 2 months of observation, scientists have almost fully ruled out any threat that the asteroid will hit the world.
Till another one comes and kills us. Don't worry, the planes are going to kill us before the asteroid will.
Odds have been lowered to 0.001%. NASA has it down to 0.0027%, meaning the asteroid will safely pass Earth in 2032 and there's no threat of impact for the next century.
Yeah, but they just changed that. Who's to say it won't change back over the next several years?
Right. That's why it's like...
It went from 3% and then like a week later, now it's no percent. Who's to say that another week or a month or a year from now, we're back to 6%? I don't like this at all.
They're saying there's still a 1.7% chance that the asteroid hits the moon in 2032. And they even know the date. It would be December 22nd.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if it hits the moon, is that bad for us?
I can't imagine.
Would it change the oceans?
I can't imagine it's good, guys.
Wow. Well, stuff hits the moon all the time. I mean, there's the craters on there and all that. It's like eventually, if something hits the moon, do we feel it down here?
Well, and the moon is, considerably smaller than Earth, so would it have more damage on the moon? And if it messes with the structure of the moon, does it affect the gravitational pull of the oceans and the waves?
There's only one man that can solve this riddle. Where's Neil deGrasse Tyson when I need him?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to listen to Star Talk. I love that guy.
He could explain this to us.
Anytime I get a chance to hear him speak, I'm all about it, even though I come away feeling smarter and dumber all at the same time.
Well, I think he's really good. His trick is he can explain things in layman ways.
Yes.
Like really smart people things. Mm-hmm. And most of the times, really smart people can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's why he's great.
When he's engaging, too. He's just a good speaker.
He's funny.
Yes.
I like him.
He might be, if I had to listen to one man speak, I got to go sit at an auditorium somewhere, and I got to sit for 90 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. This is usually what those TED Talks go. 90 minutes, and I got one guy.
One guy.
I got a fever.
Tony Robbins.
God, no. I couldn't do it. I'd put my head through a window.
I was just kidding.
Well, hello there.
Hey, people love that guy. I mean,
know.
and he works very blue. The one time I saw him, he curses up a storm, which I kind of thought was interesting. He like yells at people. I was like, whoa. It was way different than I thought. I think I would choose Master of the Planets, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think I could listen to that guy, and you don't get to know what they're going to speak on. You're just like, hey, here's a ticket. You're gonna hear one guy speak. I think I'm taking him because it's gonna be interesting and it's gonna be entertaining. I don't know who else I'd want to hear speak.
Bill
I love
Cosby.
cows.
Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Did you see what he was hawking today?
Did he hawks everything?
Well,
From behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office?
Yeah, there's a new thing.
A new Trump hat.
Did you catch this?
No, the last thing I saw was he's selling a glass with a bullet in it.
Oh.
That's a real thing.
Well, wait till you hear this.
Oh. Yeah.
So he's got a new hat you can have for your bald head.
Yeah.
Looks just like those Make America Great Again hats, but the text is different.
Oh.
It says, do you care to guess what it says on there?
Okay, so it's either something about the Gulf or Canada, or is it Ukraine maybe?
Even broader than all of
more
that.
Generic, more
more generic. God, what's more? We're not making America great anymore. We've made America great.
Well, that's a separate hat.
But that's kind of along the lines of the sentiment.
It says Donald Trump was right about everything. Because
he's the only president that sells merch and meme coins.
China.
And bears and bulletproof glass. Whatever.
The windmills are driving the whales crazy.
By the way, somebody said Florida is now leading that game.
Are they?
Really?
Jeez.
Dude, they're good, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well, is there someone that you could think of that you would want to hear speak?
When you said that, I was kind of racking my brain.
Because McConaughey's good.
Yeah, I don't care about him.
But that is a very motivational sort of,
I don't need to be motivated. I just want to hear interesting.
I want interesting, but who is the most interesting person you could hear speak?
Yeah, it's a good question.
It's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson would be good, no question. I would be interested in hearing him.
Yes.
I think I'd want to hear someone that maybe is still sciencey, but is more about people than science. Does that make sense? Like someone who could tell you more about the human condition.
Humanity. That's right. There's probably a lot of really good authors that would be very interesting, but sometimes they can be a little boring. Yeah,
and it's like, what are they speaking on?
Well, like Buck said, humanity, the direction of humanity, social impacts of, I don't know, technology, or things like that.
Yeah,
stupid stuff.
You want Elon Musk?
No. See, he's not one that can relate. He's not relatable.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Neil deGrasse Tyson has a thing going. You know what I mean?
Barack Obama, according to this, is the most expensive. If you want to hire someone to speak, Obama is number one.
Somebody mentioned Malcolm Gladwell. He's pretty good.
That would be very interesting.
I could listen to him. It depends on the topic, though.
Richard Branson's in there. I would listen to Richard Branson.
Yeah, I could. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Seems like an interesting fella.
He is. Every time I've heard Branson do anything, he, in the British accent, I can listen to that all day.
What about Mark Cuban?
Yeah, I'd listen to Cubes.
Yeah.
I think Cuban's an interesting, he's an interesting guy.
I agree.
What about like a Warren Buffett?
See,
did it do anything for you?
No, not really, because it's only going to be about,
Berkshire Hathaway.
Well, it's going to be about money, and I'm not going to understand half of it, and I don't find him to be very engaging. That's not going to.
He'd be kind of
dry.
Boring. Dry. That's a good word.
I don't want. If you told me that he was speaking at PSU, I'm not rolling into that thing.
I would want to, but I wouldn't.
You would want to.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't go to the. It's like, where is it? Where do I park? Will there be a YouTube of it?
Probably.
I've seen him speak before. It's like
I'm just looking through a list of like who's in demand.
Who is in demand?
Well, I'm just looking here. A lot of them are just motivational speakers, the Tony Robbins of the world, and people like that. But I guess Magic Johnson is in demand. People want to hear Magic speak.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd go hear Magic.
No.
I don't think I would.
No?
Have you seen that guy tweet? There's nothing interesting about what he has to say.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if he's given us much.
That dude has lived a very interesting life. You get all the NBA stuff. You get all the business stuff.
But that's assuming he's like open and candid about that
And
stuff,
he's
and
an
he seems very
engaging
guarded about
personality.
everything.
I would go I would go listen to Magic. I guess Bill Russell. My dad went and heard Bill Russell speak a couple times, and it was amazing. And he would talk about social justice. I heard Kareem speak once, and it was really good. Same sort of stuff. Talked about what it was like.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a good one.
You know, going through all that.
It's a good one.
Joel Osteen.
No way.
Yeah, he's
Get
up
out
there.
of here.
No, he's in demand. Dude, that guy has think about how 30,000 people show up to watch that guy every Sunday.
Isn't Joel Osteen? Am I thinking of a different guy? Isn't that just like
He's church
preacher man?
Yeah.
Oh, get out
But
of here.
he is one of, I have a list of the 20 most in-demand speakers, and Joel Osteen is on that list.
Yeah.
The dude that did Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he's on there.
What's his name?
Robert Kiyosaki? He's famous Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Maybe the Wolf of Wall Street guy, Jordan Belfort. I'd listen to him.
You know who else is on here? Joe Rogan.
A lot of people listen to that.
I'm good. I'm all right. A couple of the people from Shark Tank are on here. Tony Robbins is on here. Magic is on here. And then just, Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman. Honestly, most of this is either about Jesus or money. Does that say something? That almost all the speakers, you're either talking about money or God, and some of them together.
Not shocking.
No. Yeah, Jordan Peterson's on here. He's that professor.
Yeah, he's a little out there.
He's a Canadian professor. He's on here. So, yeah, dude, it's not even a question for me. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson. I listened to that dude speak over any of the other donkeys on that list. No offense to any of the donkeys on that list. They're very rich and powerful people. Michelle Obama's on here. I don't know what she speaks about, but like she goes on tour, and people love Michelle. By the way, not that you care, but Alexander Ovechkin scored another one. I believe now 12 behind Wayne Gretzky for a once conceivable unbreakable record.
How many games left for him?
23-ish.
I know that after the break he was like plus money to get the record, but it seems like he may get it.
He will probably get it this year, and it will be
the record of what?
Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record, and it was once thought to be. I guess it would be. This is Barry Bonds breaking Henry Aaron. It was thought, and more than that, it was thought unbreakable. And Ovechkin now is on the doorstep. It's pretty incredible. Sorry, I had the game on behind, and they're doing the official Ovi count. the Great 8 chase for greatness.
I'm not sure if you know this, but it's TGL Tuesday.
Why do I have the Capitals game on then?
Just started.
An ultimate Ryan Buckley crossover as the Bay team that I bet on came out in Warriors jerseys.
There you go.
With Andre Iguodala as their honorary captain.
The TGL news you didn't know you needed.
I did not know that I needed that.
You didn't need it. No. But now you have it.
Do you need to hear Newt Gingrich speak?
Newt?
It'll cost you $60,000.
No thanks.
What about Liz Cheney?
No thanks.
Chelsea Clinton?
What?
Guess how much it costs you to get Chelsea Clinton to show up at your speaking event?
$75,000.
Oh my God! Bingo! Exactly.
Yeah. Really?
Someone's paying 75 G's for Chelsea Clinton?
It's a little weird.
I want to talk about what the hell did Chelsea Clinton ever do besides be born a Clinton?
Pay more to hear Chelsea lately.
That's true.
All right, we've got hot bear news and yet another near runway collision freaking everyone out. That's coming up on The Fan.
The best basketball party is back. Join Dirt and Spray, Danny and Dusty, and Isaac and
We won't stand for this sort of bear slander on this program. We're dealing with fraudulent bear murder news and fraudulent bear insurance news. Which one do you want first?
Bears have insurance.
Is RFK involved?
No.
Okay.
Do you want bear murder news or do you want the insurance news? Because they're both just absurd.
Well, we're going to get both, so it doesn't really matter.
It's insane.
But I'm going to go with insurance news first.
Okay. So, 4 LA people, residents of Los Angeles, have been arrested and charged with insurance fraud. 4 suspects in their 20s and 30s. Their alleged scam cost 3 insurance companies a total of $141,000. This has now become known as Operation Bear Claw. It began earlier when the suspects claimed that a bear had entered their 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost and caused interior damage while it was parked at Lake Arrowhead, a region in the San Bernardino Mountains. They even provided video footage, which, by the way, you can find online. And it shows a bear climbing in their car and, rooting around, leaving scratch marks and destroying the interior of the car. Upon further scrutiny of the video, the investigations determined the bear was actually a person in a bear costume. They also found 2 more claims involving the same people, at different dates and different locations, involving a 2015 Mercedes G63 AMG and a 2022 Mercedes E350. The suspects also provided video footage of these alleged incidents, which followed a similar pattern to the first. And the insurance company found this all very suspicious. They even called in a biologist from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife to review the film, and they said that is most clearly a human in a bear suit. The detectives executed a search warrant and found the bear costume complete with a furry snouted head, paws, and metal tools in the shape of claws in the suspect's home. The fur of the costume is light brown in color, and the California Department of Fish and Wildlife says that black bears are the only wild bears at that stage that can be active, which was one of the first things that tipped them off. This is literally the bear costume that they found at the person's house.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
And they did get away initially with $150,000 in insurance claims before the insurance companies got wise to it. Although, look at the little metal bear claws.
Those look like hair picks.
Yeah. So I just love that these people thought they had an ingenious idea. And to be fair, I mean, technically they got away with it for a little bit. They did get the insurance company for some dough.
Yeah, but did they? No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. But
God, people are so dumb. They're so desperate.
Okay, well, which is worse? So that or this? So a man calls 911. This is in mid-October of last year, Eastern Tennessee. A man calls 911 in Eastern Tennessee claiming that a bear is chasing him and is on the verge of running him off a cliff.
Okay.
So the authorities arrived on scene to find a body of a man at the bottom of a cliff. Herein lies the problem with this. No bears were active around that time, and it turns out that the man they found at the bottom of the cliff was not the man. A man lured someone into the mountains, killed him, stole his identity, called 911 on himself, claiming that the bear had chased him off a cliff, thinking that they would find him, claim him to be deceased, and then he was wanted for a bunch of other crimes, and then he could start a new life as this other guy.
Yeah.
Well, the police caught on to it immediately and started a nationwide manhunt. Nicholas Wyatt Hamlet, 45, befriended and lured his victim into a wooded area to take both his life and his identity. Hamlet, who was using an alias at the time, has a lengthy criminal history and was already wanted in Alabama for parole violation. After the October incident, another warrant was issued for his arrest on first-degree murder charges. He killed the man to steal his identity and tried to blame it on a bear, while calling police saying that a bear is chasing me. So I don't like this bear slander that's going on. We're now, when in doubt, you're just throwing bears under the bus.
Although these people seem to think it's easy to blame bears. Not so fast, my friends.
Fast. Yes. Police and federal authorities warned that he is considered dangerous and potentially armed and was known to travel under various aliases. So if there is someone that you just recently met and asked you to go into the woods and bring your ID with you, don't.
I think that while this is close, I'm going to go with the insurance bear.
Yeah.
As worse.
As worse. Although one was insurance, one was murder.
Well, I know, but I see where he was trying, when trying to pin that on the bear. I mean, you're not going to probably get away with that.
Yeah.
But I see where he was going with that.
Yeah.
I mean, a bear costume? Really? Jesus, man. Come up with a better bit.
The dude that was getting chased off the cliff claimed after 911, he goes, look, I've hit my head. I'm unable to move. I'm getting woozy, and I only have 2% battery life. And then when he's like, oh, I'm dead now. I just love that was the guy's idea. He's like, hey, 911, I'm dying. So when you show up, just find me. I'm dead. And you're not going to be able to call me back because my battery. And they immediately found, that where the call came from. They sniffed this out immediately. Yeah. But I just love that was the guy's plan. Shove a guy to his death, blame a bear, call, and report yourself as being murdered from a bear.
Can I guess, why did he, if you shove him off a cliff, who is going to know that you did that? Why are you calling, you idiot? Okay, this guy's worse.
It's the worst
This
idea.
guy's worse.
Like, why did you think that was going to work?
Well, why call? Dude, take your chances that they will just assume that he fell off the cliff.
As opposed to...
Right, and then just take the idea and go, man. Like, you don't need to conjure up a bear story.
It does seem a bit convoluted. You would think that, the easier one is shove the guy off the cliff, and then just hope they find his dead body. But I guess he was trying to, he provided his name and everything. I think they needed him to believe that it was that guy and not him. But... doesn't that get a little suspicious too? And you're like, here's my name and social security number, and please don't look into this corpse. Just assume that it's me. It's it's both the clever and the dumbest idea of all time. But I just thought that was interesting that we have a lot of fake bear news going on out there, and I don't appreciate the bear slander.
You can't really, if you try to pin something on a bear, you can't really interview the bear.
No.
Per se.
No.
So, I see, especially when it involves the woods, it's probably easy to pin things on bears. That is the...
Yeah, when you're in the United States in the woods, that's probably the number one thing.
Yeah, although you need to know their whereabouts and their hibernation habits, because like you said, the insurance one, they said there aren't bears even active. So you gotta
black bears. See, that was their problem.
Well, but you got too specific.
If you're gonna pin it on a bear, make sure you have the right kind of bear. The one in Tennessee, they're like, bears aren't even active in that.
You mix up your bear facts, you're getting all kinds of hooped.
Yeah. You got to do it around the time when the bears are active. It's probably not a good idea, by the way, to call in your own murder and be like, you do like when you do the fake illness when you were a kid. You're like, I don't feel
hurt.
I've fallen, I hit my head. I don't think by the time you get here, I'm probably going to be dead, but hurry, please. And my phone is dying, so don't try to call me back. AIDS.
It makes me sad.
AIDS.
All right. We had another near plane crash today.
Dude, the video of this is nuts.
Another one.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Well, I think we know what's going on.
What is going on?
Don't take to the skies anymore, even though I'm about to do it.
That's next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Brought to you by Reynolds Defense, where if you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on the Fan, a big one in Los Angeles tonight as Luca, LeBron, and the Lakers host the Dallas Mavericks. It's the first meeting between the two teams since the Mavs traded Luca to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. Tip-off for that one at 7 o'clock over on TNT. The Blazers are off tonight after a win Monday against the Jazz. They'll take on the Wizards Wednesday, with DeAndre Ayton, Matisse Thybulle, and Robert Williams all out due to injury. Out at the NFL Scouting Combine, Bengals Director of Player Personnel Duke Tobin said the team intends to make Jamar Chase the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league next season. Meanwhile, Browns General Manager Andrew Berry says the franchise has no intention of trading All-Pro defensive end Myles Garrett, who's recently expressed frustration with the team. And Kansas City Chiefs GM Brett Veach told the media that he expects veteran tight end Travis Kelce to return to Kansas City next season despite rumors of his potential retirement. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley from 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The ultimate basketball party, Fan Madness, is back. March 20th and 21st at the Stadium Sports Bar at A&A Sportsbook. More info at 1080thefan.com.
Hey, it's Sue.
Well, we've got a lot of airline and airplane investigations going on right now.
Mm-hmm. We got another one coming up. Someone's going to need to answer for this.
Yeah. Add another one. Yep. A Southwest Airlines plane and a private jet that entered the runway without authorization experienced a close call. This was at Chicago Midway this morning.
Yep.
Southwest Flight 2504 landed safely after the flight crew had to perform a go-around to prevent a potential incident. We don't have the audio, but I can read you.
I'm guessing there's an OF sort of thing.
I can read you the air traffic control conversation with the flights if you'd like.
Maybe a lookout.
And if you didn't see, so the Southwest plane is coming down. It touches down on the ground. And right as it touches down, the private plane goes across the runway, and the Southwest flight immediately, after touching the ground, does a whoops and pulls right back up and goes over the top of it, and then has to circle back around.
It's like when Maverick goes back up to save Cougar.
Yes. By the way, great reference. That's exactly what happened here.
Air traffic control instructed the private jet to turn left on runway 4L, cross runway 31L, and hold short of runway 31C. Mm-hmm. You got all that?
No, but I'm hoping that as a pilot, you would have all of that.
The pilot replied saying, all right, left on 4L, cross the 22 or 13C, FlexJet 560. This is quote.
Oh, boy. This is like a John Gruden play call, by the way. I don't like this at all.
Then the air traffic controller on the ground immediately replies to the pilot, FlexJet 560 negative, cross 31L, hold short runway 31C. The same thing I said the first time, you idiot.
Oh, boy.
He didn't say that. No. Air traffic control audio from the tower also shows the moment the pilot of the Southwest plane chose to perform the go-around to avoid the private jet on the runway. Air traffic control replies, West 2504, that's the Southwest jet. Mm-hmm. Roger that, climb, maintain 3,000. Once the plane reached 3,000 feet in the air, the pilot asked the tower, Southwest 2504, how'd that happen? That's what he said.
Jeez. Watch the video. It's
scary.
It
sounds just by that, based on that alone, it's the pilot of the private jet was not listening.
No. Or just was like, whatever. He's like, I got this. I wonder if you're the private jet, did you poop your pants when you realized that the giant Southwest flight is coming down on top of you?
They're telling you to wait your turn. You're like, I'm just going to go over there. And then all of a sudden, oh, no!
So they're saying that plane was 2,000 feet from the Southwest plane was 2,000 feet from the private jet.
Yeah. And had touched down and is going... I'm guessing that ground gets made up real quick when you land.
Yeah, it flew over the jet, at 900 feet, which was approximately 250 feet above ground after adjusting for pressure and elevation. Wow.
We were this close to having another. I mean,
now who was on the PJ? You think he was headed for Knoxville, Tennessee?
I don't know. Kid Rock, maybe. I don't know. Some country star, right?
Hey, he does live in Knoxville,
doesn't he? Knoxville, right? I don't know, man. That's just
Josh Heupel.
I don't know how. If this is just we're talking about it more or what, but boy, it seems like this stuff is happening all the time.
Well, a lot of people are blaming all the layoffs and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
That I don't know if that's.
I just don't know.
I don't know if that's right or not.
It just and maybe it's coincidence, but it seems like it's a hell of a coincidence. Like you lay off like half of your workforce, and all of a sudden no one has any idea what the hell's going on. I mean, my God, it's one thing like when the doors, like we know that like some of that door stuff that was going on was just piss poor quality control from Boeing, but some of this stuff just like you can't have this. You cannot have planes just not paying attention. Maybe
we took for granted the abilities of air traffic control.
It's possible
for so many years.
Well, supposedly that was like one of the most stressful jobs in the world, and now you've eliminated people and put more stress on them. I will tell you what, I'm getting on a plane on Thursday, and it certainly has me thinking about it. I mean, granted, I'm still going to fly because how the hell else are you getting anywhere? But it makes me nervous. This feels like this is happening a lot.
Take a bunch of Xanax.
Yeah, that's going to help. Watch me have a freak out on the airplane.
Ooh, that'd be great.
And by the way, if I am on a bunch of, pills and then we do have a near accident, because that's going to be even better. Be a footage of me losing my ass on a plane if something happens.
Don't you want to be, I've always thought that, don't you want to be clear-eyed?
Yes.
And clear-headed?
Yes.
When something bad happens?
Yes. You don't want to be half in the bag waking up from your little nap.
Well, what about drunk? Like, would you...
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't like flying, you ask for a couple doubles on the way up, and then all of a sudden, like, you've got to figure out the slide and the masks and all that.
I told you this story once when I was flying we were going to New Orleans, and I was meeting the BTJ, and I was taking the red eye. So I figured, I just want to sleep. So I took something to kind of help knock me out. And look, I miscalculated how much I took and maybe the combination of things. And I white-knuckled that flight the entire way. And all I could think about was don't cause a scene. It was not good. Like there was the full-on like panic attack was happening. It sucked. If you had put an emergency in that situation and I had been in that state, no. Now that was one of those like you got to maintain some level of coherence. You can't just go up there and be like, I'm going to pass out.
Do you think this will usher back the days of us dressing up for our flight? Remember that?
Yeah, because that'll help things.
People used to, well, if you're going to go down, you want to go down with class.
Yeah.
Do you care?
Nice tie on? Yes.
I'll tell you what.
You're going to put a tie on because you're going to die?
Well, that's right.
People all of a sudden are wearing their Crocs in sport mode just in case they have to run. I would say this. I don't dress up for flights, but I also do not understand the people that dress like bored teenagers.
Oh, they're Isaac's favorite.
Oh, yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, if
times.
you're wearing pajama pants on a plane, what are you doing?
If you brought your stuffed animal and you're an adult?
Yeah, get your
drag your little blankie.
Thank you.
With your ruffled hair.
Yeah.
Your fluffy slippers.
Get it together.
And your anxiety meds.
Well, you can take those without anybody noticing. You don't need to do that publicly.
Yeah, but you can just see it. You can see it in their behavior, their demeanor, their dress, their general vibe.
We have taken air travel.
You look like a mess.
Air travel used to be a big deal, and we've gotten way too comfortable with it.
I agree.
We just,
Maybe this will, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe this will bring us back to really respecting air travel.
I'm going to say no, but I hope so. Be nice. A little more class.
You packing a parachute?
I don't think that's the way that works, but...
Why not?
Everyone just opened the back of the plane, piling out of there.
What if they did that?
I don't think you can jump out at 32,000 feet. That's not the way that works.
What if they gave us one? They started putting those ramps.
And they waited. They're like, hey, once we get to 8,000 feet, now everyone go, 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 go.
Do a gainer out of the back of the airplane.
The Mission Impossible theme starts playing.
I mean, yes. I mean, if you waited till you were low enough, right, wouldn't be better than the alternative.
Well, that flight in Philly, I guess I'd like to eject, please. Yeah. Thank you.
I know it's
because we're about to go into that house.
I know it's dangerous, but Yeah, they don't ever. You don't hear the parachute is not a thing. And I would say,
not.
Well, if I was in one of those little like the little PJs, why not? I get the big airliner, but if I'm a rich bro and I'm on a just my own little jet, why wouldn't I have a parachute? That seems to make a lot of sense. And I'm sure skydiving bro right now is like, you jackass, you can't. Why not?
You have no idea what you're doing with that thing. It's not a toy.
Well, but I'm with you. If I know that this is a OF, we're going straight down Philly plane style, why not take the chance to Peter Pan out the back? Even if I know that's going to rip me apart, I'm going too fast or whatever, isn't it better than just dying in the fiery ball of hell?
AI is telling me that some small jets, particularly the Cirrus Vision jet, are equipped with a parachute system called the Circus Airframe Parachute System, CAPS.
Yeah, I like where we're going with that.
Yeah, but it's not all
No.
aircraft.
Well, look, Make America Great Again, make airlines have parachutes again. What are we doing? It does seem like that would be on maybe not in mass, but on smaller planes, it does feel like that could be a solution.
Make America great, bitch. Yeah, I guess
if I'm rich enough to have a plane, I would be rich enough to have a parachute.
I guess with the small aircraft, you don't really need to punt. Like Harrison Ford's gone down with his like 18 times.
That's true.
And he's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the small aircraft, there's a chance you can just drop that thing down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, but not that Philly
And you
one.
don't need a parachute.
Well, look, all I'm saying is if I'm rich enough to have my own plane, I'm rich enough to have a parachute, and I'm telling the captain at the first sign of trouble, La Bamba my ass out the back, I'm gone. So that's, at some point, right? Why is that so dangerous? People skydive all the time. I'd rather take that chance than say, hey, we're going down on a crash landing and we're gonna be fine, because I think Harrison Ford's the exception to the rule.
Well, then how about when you have a situation where the plane recovers and 12 people who jumped off of the parachutes didn't figure it out?
Yeah, what does Air Force One do?
Don't they have a little pod? At least
that's
the movie in the movie Air Force One, which we know is real. They eject the president in a pod. It's like a little kind of mini aircraft that's protected that parachutes.
Yeah,
that's a good question. But they'll probably never tell us, right?
Probably not. But if he's got a parachute, well, I'm not saying I'm parachute worthy, but, rich private jet guy, I would assume he's parachute worthy. But you can't have that like on a Southwest flight. That'd be you imagine strapping up 200 people and then have an orderly fashion to the back of the airplane?
Hey.
That turns into a Lord of the Flies sort of situation.
Tell you what, first airline to put that in play, you might be getting some full flights.
Is that really a good thing to tell your passengers? Hey, just in case, we got parachutes for you.
Well, people are scared out there right now, Jace.
Yeah, well, and rightfully so.
People are worried.
That being said, it's still the safest form of travel.
That it is. Yeah. They keep telling us that, but
well, they're gonna have to keep telling us that for a while.
And it makes me sad.
I guess they're gonna pound that drum over and over and over again.
I'd like to tell you about Soon Bang.
Yeah, please.
Soon Bang. Mm-hmm. That's next on The Fan.
Backed by popular demand.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
The 1080 The Fan VIP Golf Card. Play 5 of the best courses in Oregon and Southwest Washington for only $75. You'll enjoy the Mount Hood, Oregon Resort, Stone Creek Golf Club, Three Rivers Golf Course, Claremont Golf Club, and the Chehalem Glen Golf Course. Play Monday through Thursday or Fridays through Sundays and holidays after 1 p.m. Go to PortlandPerks.com and pick up your 1080 The Fan Golf Card today.
Iksuk here for the Big Ford Store, Vancouver Ford. Locally owned and #1 in customer service for, get this, the 7th straight year. Their certified staff is ready to get you in the ride you're looking for. Vancouver Ford isn't just my hometown dealer, it's the dealer I send my family and friends to because I know they're going to be well taken care of and you won't find a better deal, period. Vancouver Ford is proud to represent my hometown and I'm proud to stand behind them. Find them right off Andreessen at SR 500 in the heart of Clark County or online at vancouverford.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions
got a question, because someone brings this up on the Vancouver 4 text line.
All right.
Could I wear a parachute as my carry-on?
Yeah, why couldn't you?
I would think you could.
Is that...
Why couldn't you?
Well, is that a panic-inducing sort of thing? I mean, I get one carry-on. Can I just strap myself into my parachute?
I think you should. And I think people would think it's a bit. You're doing a bit. Ha 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 ha.
I need someone from the airlines to confirm. Could I wear a parachute as my carry-on?
Because it's like a little backpack.
I mean, unless it doesn't contain over 3.4 ounces of liquid or have an explosive device, I don't see why not.
Why not? But they're not going to let you wear it. You have to put it in the overhead bin or under the seat in front of you.
Well, it's like a backpack. I mean, it just...
I know.
Yeah, it'll go under the seat in front of you.
You can't sit there with it on.
How much do parachutes cost? Is this an impractical sort of... I've never thought about buying a parachute before. I got something's on. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like where this is going. It's insane. Just show up with a parachute and just be prepared either way. Why are you going there?
That's what we said.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
But then, like, when the plane's going down, is someone going to try to stop me from opening the door?
Yes. Well, if the plane's going down, no. I think they're preoccupied.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone's, like, freaking out, and I'm, like, in the back of the plane being like, yeah, I'm out of here. And then everyone starts yelling at me, and then what if the plane doesn't crash? Am I charged? I got a lot of questions here on how this is going to go down. But at that point, I feel like I'm justified. At that point, it's every man for themselves, right? I'm like, hey, I brought the parachute, not you guys. I can't take anyone else with me.
It would be kind of funny if you boarded with the goggles and the scarf and the helmet.
Like you were ready to jump.
It's trying to be like, and everyone's like looking at you like, hey, just in case. Like, it never hurts to be prepared, right? That the Boy Scouts?
Boy, you would make some people very uncomfortable in that boarding line.
And that's what I'm
You're
saying.
in Group C with your pack on.
Is making people uncomfortable enough for them to deny me access to the plane, or I'm like, what? I just want to be prepared. Maybe I just like to cosplay. I like to dress up like this.
They let you on. I think they question you, like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm doing bits.
But I think it makes dozens of people uncomfortable.
Well, of course.
It makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
They're already uncomfortable. Everybody's anxious.
They're on edge, yeah.
On edge.
It's not going to help things.
Definitely won't. Yeah. But you don't see a lot of people doing bits on airplanes, do you?
No.
You know?
It's
a very serious space.
Well, there's a serious line, too, that you cannot cross with certain things.
I think you're getting kicked off.
Really?
Yeah. I do not think I can show up with a parachute as my backpack. I don't think they're putting up with that crap for 2 seconds.
But the whole getup.
You're
in the whole getup. You're in the. You got the helmet, the goggles.
Someone say you do the Super Dave outfit with, the full deal. Eva can even
the scarf.
There's just no way they're letting you do that, right?
Why wouldn't they?
I think if you don't make a big deal of it, if you just don't say anything to anyone, if you're not doing jokes,
make a big deal about it.
Well, just walk on quietly. Keep yourself.
They probably think you're just in a show or something.
No, dude, you're getting the heat.
Well, let me tell you about Soon Bang before we go.
Tell me about the banger.
The banger. Yeah, she is, shockingly, she is a New Jersey spa owner. Her name is Soon Bang, and her spa, Oasis, was just busted as being a brothel.
You had me at Soon Bang. I mean, Something Wong.
There's a couple things here. One, I feel like that's pretty genius marketing because her name is Cindy, but she goes by Soon Bang.
Yeah.
Because I feel like guys like me, like I don't know, I would have no idea how to navigate the.
Me neither. I mean,
I
had no idea.
The Robert Kraft situation, like, intriguing idea, but I don't know anything about it. Like, if I go into one that I think is one, how do I know it's one? You know what I'm saying?
Is there a code word?
Yeah, what do I do?
Just kind of ask
but then if Cindy comes out and she's like, hello, I'm Soon Bang, I'm like, aha! I get it.
I see what's happening.
This is one.
Yeah. By the way, you might be tipped off by the advertisement of the bright pink neon, the giant busty Asian lady on the cover, and it says happy massage time. I mean, come on. Really?
Did you read about her coworker?
Happy massage time? I got a good idea what's going down. No, I'm not seeing the coworker part. I got stuck at the advertisement there.
Her coworker's name was Stick Me Now.
Jeez. Well, hey, I'm looking at the photos here, and it does look like a pretty nice place.
That seems less authentic than Soon Bang.
Yeah. Seems pretty legit.
Yeah, but seriously, like, how do you know this?
If it's on 82nd Avenue, you know what's up.
But you see, okay, so let's say our wives die in a fiery plane crash.
Yes.
And we're so sad and bawling, and we need
you need to be massaged.
Consolation
Yes.
with a shoulder rub.
Yes.
And we're in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know Grand Rapids, Michigan, but for some reason our wives' funerals are there.
Yes.
So we're out there.
Wearing my Super Dave outfit. I got my parachute on. Just
We're burying our wives, and we are like, man. Or I mean, not together. That would be weird.
Would be a little weird. Hey, maybe they went down together in the plane crash, which is now we're wearing the parachutes because we're been traumatized.
And for some reason, they're being buried in Grand Rapids. Okay, we know nothing about Grand Rapids, but we see a oasis, sort of massage parlor with flashing neon in a strip mall.
Yeah. The answer to that is, I do not believe.
What percentage of those are rub and touch?
100%.
100% of them.
Look, you know damn well when you walk by, there has never been a person in the history of mankind or massages that has ever accidentally stumbled into one of those places. Dude, you know exactly when you see that place. First off, if it's open at 11 at night, guess what? No one's getting massaged at 11 o'clock at night.
So serious question, though. If that is the case, then how come, any cop can't just walk into one and say, I'd like the happy ending, and then bust the place?
Because
why
that's entrapment. You can't do that. They're very hard to bust. I think that's the thing. And as long as there's not like human trafficking, I have a buddy of mine that's a cop that says this, as long as there's not human trafficking going on, they usually don't mess around.
You have to have
with
cameras, right?
Yes.
And you can't have cameras.
You can't have cameras.
So somebody
in
would
there.
have to film it.
Yes.
With their phone.
And cops can't go in and then whip it out and be like, touch this. Like it just, most of the time these things happen, it's like some guy calls and it's at like someone's house.
Yeah, I guess if everybody knows that's the case and we'd all know that that's illegal, you'd think they'd be able to root that out a little better.
Well, that's like saying like it's just not a crime that you're spending a bunch of time going to do.
The people who are there want that. So
yes. So like you seriously drive up and down 80, like on my way to my gym. Dude, you pass by like 6 of these and they are the most run down, dilapidated buildings, and then just a neon sign with like a hot Asian girl on the front. You know what you're going into those places. That's not like, no one has ever thought to themselves, I need a legitimate massage. The Blue Oyster Cult, this seems like a great place. Plenty of parking and neon sign, and it smells like cigarettes. Yeah,
well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. I think no guy can ever do the, oh, honey, I thought I was going into a...
What?
There's one that's literally in the same little complex where I get my beard trimmed, and it's hilarious because while you're sitting in there, you can watch the guys pretend not to go in. They like kind of loiter around the front, and they kind of look around, and they kind of like, just kind of doing one of these, wait for no one to be watching, and then they just slide. They like back into it. You're like, all right, buddy.
Well, I'd go full disguise. I'd go COVID mask, sunglasses, hat, sweaty hoodie, sweatshirt.
It's our society's dirty little secret that we all just kind of look the other way.
Hey, is that ROP?
No.
Prove it. Me.
Or in case of Robert Kraft, you're like, good luck. I got lawyers. And that's the other one, too. If you got money, you can fight that. It's just not...
I don't even know why it's illegal.
It's just not...
Again, human trafficking is a problem, but why is that illegal? Jordan Schultz is in there. If he wants to go in and get his...
Schultz is like, don't bring my name into this.
Let him do it. Who cares? Why are we policing each other's wangs?
And they're really not. That's to Buck's thing of why they don't bust these.
Good.
That's
good. See, finally some common sense. All right, we are back tomorrow. Coming up next, Jordan's in there because it's Hot Corner.